There we go.
Don't
Now
be
I have
stupid.
everything set up.
Yeah, don't be a dumb.
They
I
like
have 10 hit points.
Man, everybody's getting a lot of negative experience already.
Oof.
It's worth it.
First room you walk into, it'll just be a cabal of like music illiterate vampires that just double energy drain you. You're dead. You will all die from that.
Why would you do that?
Worth it. If look, I will go through hell and high water if it means that we will have a little Kermit Frog companion follow us around singing Redbone. Always.
He doesn't stop.
He never stops. It makes like stealthy behavior really hard to accomplish, but I mean the payoff is worth it.
I mean, nobody said it was easy being green.
Holy shit.
Also, Dirge, don't forget about push to talk.
Already?
Hmm?
It already?
No, you need it.
What?
You need.
The
If
push
this
to
is gonna
talk.
work, I don't want to break my fingers.
But last time you broke our hearts by being barely legible for the first 20 minutes.
Well, if it starts to cut out, just let me know and I'll switch back to him.
It's starting to cut
It's
off.
starting to cut out.
I mean, everyone
Same.
cuts out every like 5 seconds for me anyway, so I'm not too concerned.
Well,
That's just because your internet is a bad.
Yeah, I live in Tucson. Nothing
to
is
a
new.
real state.
Yeah, do it.
DC is threatening going to sleep soon.
He'll sleep right here. You think he won't?
He can't. He's the party face.
I have +3 Cha.
Oh, that's right. DC, now you've got Alpha to help you with that.
Yeah, with his cha.
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 Oh, he's gonna do the cha-cha slide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Good. Fingers broke.
Perfect. That's
All
exactly how I
dead.
want you.
Why don't you just get something to weigh it down, like your 3DS
Or
Because,
phone.
or your Switch?
because I have to be able to do things.
Or your
And I
PSP in
can't-
actual paperweight.
I don't even know where that thing is.
Neither do I.
Since I cannibalized the charging cord for my PS2, so.
Mine fell on the floor and I haven't bothered to pick it back up.
Anyways, I need to be able to alt-tab. What I need is one of those, like, steering pedals for a racing game that I can just have.
Oh. Yeah, let's get him at.
There you go, kickstart it.
Okay. Okay. We good?
So everyone has their character sheets and all that, so there
Oh,
won't be any
Yeah, I've got my sheet open. I've got
stumbling for them.
the book nearby.
You gotta
I've
do the cooking by the book.
got yeah.
Really cooking by the book.
Do you have nothing?
I might have it somewhere. Just go on. It's fine. Everything's good. I'm good.
Does everyone remember where we left off last time?
Last
left
time
off-
on D&D.
Yeah.
We left off as Gabby was making hand gestures at Evil McBig Big Bad.
Yeah, the noble-looking cunt, as I have written down.
And then you all went to bed at the Edelic Knight's keep in the barracks.
Yep.
Yep.
As much as Gabby wanted to go off on his own and sleep in an inn by himself
He had a
unprotected,
sudden
he
reconsideration.
realized it was a bad idea. Stuck with the group.
Yeah. Potentially.
So the sun rises, morning has come. What are you guys gonna do?
Oh, that's a good name for him, DC. I like that too.
Okay. Sunrises.
Day 2 of
we
the
all-
adventure, and everyone's all like, what do we do?
I'm not here yet.
I'm still unclogging my face. Sorry. I'm going to get dressed in my armor, and head on down for a nice breakfast.
Can we
Get
all
something
sleep
from
in
the,
the same like?
Yeah,
barrack?
we're in the same. We're in the same room. We're holding
Ooh.
hands.
Oh, that's weird.
That's what you do in barracks, Onyx.
I don't think Siska got much sleep.
Oh boy.
No,
Don't worry,
because-
I tucked her under my magnificent bosom.
Oh.
Cat camera
And it
said
was-
she didn't have a nest.
No, I thought that she would have been investigating the anatomy of Dragonborn if it was her first time being around one.
Oh.
no, it's fine.
You want to investigate his anatomy?
Yeah, she's probably really groggy because she's not used to being around so many people, so she didn't sleep very well. So today will be pissed
Wait a
off,
minute. What
irritable
if Gabby
Siska.
had to take the top bunk?
Oh, yeah, today's gonna be pissed off, irritable Siska.
Okay. So you all managed to eventually get up and probably find some breakfast.
Yeah, I'll give everybody the raking call. Rise and shine, everybody.
But the morning is young and the day is long, and you're still no closer than yesterday than finding out anything about the artifact or
Yeah.
what you're supposed to be doing beyond find it.
Well, we know it's not in the city.
Oh yeah, that's true. You did figure out the fact that it's not in the city,
Mhm.
as with
So,
Nadon
you know,
being
that just leaves the rest of the fucking world.
yeah.
Easy peasy.
Gabby's already cooking breakfast for everybody.
You've narrowed out the fact that it's not in one of the biggest trading cities on the continent, so it's anywhere else in the world. Baby steps.
Somewhere. You know what? You have to take this in stride sometimes.
So what's the plan?
Oh, jeez. Well, let's see.
All right. First off, we need to determine our information leak. I suppose I should say.
Where did the
Because-
soldier guy tell us to go again? The
He
general?
told us to go to.
Which
Oof.
soldier guy are you referring to?
I think
the
he's
head
talking
captain.
about.
Probably should have wrote this down in my notes.
Oh, Preceptor Rothkin?
Yeah.
I don't think he gave us any idea as to where to start looking, except for you could start looking in the city.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the Edelic.
Something about the cult of the Seared.
No, he didn't mention them. That was Korvat that mentioned.
Oh, yeah.
He did mention that the artifact came from the north, in the northern part of Mimura, in the mountains up there.
Yeah. With the dwarves.
Well,
But
yeah,
that's
the-
now owned by the orcs.
The northeastern part,
Yeah.
the Dramsteel Mountains.
That's the one.
Right, that's where it was stolen from, right?
Yes. So
Okay,
it could
so-
still be in that region, but it could also be anywhere else.
Yeah.
But they're confident that it's still in Mimura.
Oh, okay. I don't
No
remember that part.
information. Yeah, no information has led the Edelic Knights to think that it left the region, but it's been missing for a couple hundred years now, so they're not sure what happened to it. They don't think it's been destroyed because it's not something that can easily be destroyed, but they don't think it's left the region, but they don't have the manpower to try and track it down.
Where's
so,
the map?
Where is the map?
Post the map!
I'm the map, I'm the map, I'm the map, I'm the map.
I thought it was pinned in D&D chat, but it's not.
I thought I pinned it.
Wow.
I mean, I have the out-of-date map.
Yeah, Findor, just post your updated map.
He's so happy.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, this is the only version of the map I have.
All right. So we need to We need some way to determine which way we should strike out, because even despite the fact that it's almost certainly still in Mimura, we only know so much. That's still a pretty big friggin' region.
Yeah.
We've got a lot of ground to cover. And there's only like one major, two major rivers in this entire place, so maybe not that much.
Well, there's more. It's not a very accurate
I'm
map.
being a cheeky cunt.
Yeah, I know you would be.
Well, let's see.
Because rivers split as they flow downstream.
The rivers aren't real. And actually, you can't even see it from the train, but
Real
some
fake
of the
rivers.
train is actually like ravines.
Oh,
Like there's a lot of like open land that's used
What,
as
does that
farm,
go to like the
farmland?
Underdark or something?
but no. But like a lot of like the region in like the northeast and whatnot has some like pretty big cliff areas.
Oh, so like Rivendell.
Yeah,
there you go.
sure. I don't even like
Mm.
but
I'll
there's
show you a Rivendell.
there's roads pretty much in all directions leading up from Mimura, because
Oh, so it's Rome.
Mimura's in more or less the center of the continent of Arvala. So, despite being a landlocked city, it's one of the biggest ones on the continent because literally every other part of the world can move through there for trade.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. It's
They're at
literally
the
Rome.
crossroads of all nations.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we need to figure out at least which direction we should be starting to look in.
Okay, so we know that whoever took it is well organized, right?
Most likely. Well, possibly not.
Possibly not. Mm,
There certainly is a cult that has managed to infiltrate the castle that we know of.
Right.
However, they are not the ones that have stolen it. They're just looking for it.
okay. Well, we could rule out. We could pretty much rule out the harpies down south from stealing anything, even though they're kind of known for that, since they're just like a gaggle of like the bandit types are just a gaggle of whatever.
Gaggle of geese.
Gaggle of geese, pretty much.
That's usually how the phrase
I make that
goes.
joke in game. That joke is in game. It's canon. It happened. Congratulations.
It's also slightly racist, but okay.
Roll for racism.
I'll do it.
He will. Don't tempt him. Everybody's
He
reading this
actually did it.
campaign.
He
You
got an
a
18.
on that.
It
I'm
was
not sure if that
really
is racist.
offensive.
Pretty offensive. Actually, hold on. Does that is that so that he doesn't notice, or?
Yeah, that's charming.
Oh. Okay.
It's a charisma roll.
Okay.
Also, the map is on screen for SL's viewing.
Siska
listening,
is
player
appreciative of
pleasure.
the alliteration.
Yeah, we need to get on.
We are. We're
Get
trying to figure
on
out
with
where
it.
we're gonna go. This is a whole freaking kingdom, man. We can't just.
It is pretty big. Yeah, we can't
into the
just
forest.
strike out in one direction and hope for the best. That would be very
That would
dangerous.
be the wrong thing.
No, but let's do that.
Always split the party.
Okay, let's see. Dirge, what's that gate again? That big like weird
On
thing
the
to the
east?
right of Mimura? Yeah.
It's a wall. It's not too high, but it's guarded. It's mostly just to deter any cocky orc war chiefs, because Nothan is mainly a tribal society, from deciding that Mimura should be part of their territory. So it's mostly just a deterrent. It's not heavily fortified or anything, but it also creates a natural pass for trading routes to go through. You know, customs.
You
Always
think
important.
people from Notham stole it?
possible. Although it's a dwarven, if it's a dwarven artifact, I know for a fact that the dwarves have always gotten along, since long ago with the orcs. Correct, Dirge?
Yeah.
They gave
anyone
the
have
orcs a mountain.
Does anyone have proficiency in history?
Let me check.
I do not. I have proficiency in religion.
I do not have proficiency. All I have is a +3 bonus.
Let's see. I don't think I do. I'm pretty sure I don't. No, I have a +1 in history. Just
And I have a +3.
Oh wait, no. Never mind. I don't have an X in it, so I don't have it.
What about you, DC? I don't remember if you had proficiency in it. I don't.
So are you, out of character question here, are you only letting people do skill checks if they have proficiency in that skill?
No, I was just determining if I need a roll or not for this.
Okay.
In this situation, I will have Doru make an intelligence roll.
Ooh, lovely. Let's see. Let's see. That's a 10. Oh, yeah. My intelligence modifier is 5. Wait.
What?
No, not
was-
not an intelligence save, just an intelligence.
Intelligence roll.
Is the modifier, not the saving throw column.
Saving throw is against like a spell or attack.
Oh, whoops. So that's 3 plus 3. That would be
No, 5
11.
plus 3.
Wait, no, but 5 is the saving roll.
You
Saving
don't.
throw.
Yeah, but you rolled a
It's
5.
not a saving throw. You have a 5 plus 3.
You see,
Oh, yeah. I have a 5 plus 3 plus my
No.
history.
no, your history is the intelligence modifier.
Your history is
chances
your
are.
intelligence modifier.
Oh. Oh, so 8. All I know is, like, just
He says
passing
you're not trained in
comments
history.
from... Yeah, all I know is passing comments in from working with the Stone Brewers.
Are you trained in history?
I'm not.
So, can you? How do? I don't understand how this game works.
Eesh.
No,
You
it's
don't
simply
have
put.
to have training in something to make a skill check.
Okay.
That's
'Cause
why
I
he made.
have a +1 in history, but I don't have any proficiency in it. Does that mean
That's
that I?
from your intelligence. Your
Okay.
intelligence +1. So that means if you made a history check, it'd be +1.
Got
But
it.
I just had Dora made an intelligence check, not a history check.
Gotcha.
Anyways,
I
basically,
rolled an 8.
yeah. All Gabby can remember on the matter just from passing is that the dwarves got their mountain home from the orcs. Originally, the orcs lived there long ago, but it was at some time the orcs gave the mountain to the dwarves and then left to the east. You know, into Nothin and into the Jules Mountains and over there.
And that's why nothing's full of orcs.
Okay.
True
Fair
story.
enough.
But my question is, would the orcs? Do the orcs hate Mimura enough to betray the dwarves and steal their artifact if it would give them the edge over us?
That's a good question. We don't even really know what the artifact would probably do by itself.
It's a good point.
So where does
I
that
mean-
leave you guys now?
It's kind of a long shot, but I mean, maybe we should start there. Start heading towards the gate and see if any suspicious activity has been going on in Nothin.
We could try towards the east. At the very least, given that the mountains are in the northeast corner, it seems more likely for it to have naturally settled either, or at least towards that vicinity. It
Dirge.
seems less likely that somebody would take it all the way to the other side of the
What's up,
region.
Dor?
So it's been like 1 day. How long would it be until the letter reaches the Stonebrewers? The message I sent with the courier?
It was about 2 weeks for them to send a rider there, deliver the message, and then assuming they return back without having to wait long for a reply,
Uh-huh.
another week. So still about, it'd be 13 days now.
Okay.
You know, assuming the rider doesn't get eaten, but hopefully not.
That would be a little unpleasant.
I'm sure he's fine.
So you guys are gonna head east?
It
This is
seems. I'm not sure where else we could look. It's very at the very least, I don't know where else we could ask.
It's the only
And
lead
it-
we have to go off of.
It's not much of a
Wait,
lead
where
per
does
se.
the lead come from?
But just theory.
No, it's
Again,
fine. It's
theory.
fine. It's a lead. It's a lead as long as you believe hard enough.
Mm,
So are you guys going to go to the
What's-
stables, mount up, and head
What
out?
do you think, Mary?
How long would it take us to get there?
A while.
Oof. Like a couple days or a week.
Catacama said, I
we don't
don't
have a
think
scale.
going so far would be advisable, especially when we have nothing that point us that way.
that's true. That's true. Speaking of, by the way, Mary, where do you hail from? I don't quite recognize your accent. It's
I'm
unfamiliar.
gonna kill you, Dobro.
It's a legitimate
Catacama said,
question.
don't worry about it, gnome.
Wow.
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 Wow, she shut you down hard.
Oh. Wow. My goose is cooked.
So if
Stop
you're not
saying
heading-
that!
Oh, sorry. What? Cooked?
No, oh my god.
So if you're not heading east, what's the plan?
And we could head east, but I don't think that we should start towards the outer rim of the country, if you know what I mean. It makes more sense to work our way out from the inn. Tactically speaking, at least.
Mm.
That way it's not going past us.
Okay, so what's the nearest town on the way, I guess?
Gosh, that's you.
Yeah, I know. I'm looking.
He's got to pull up his trusty DM's map.
Anyways,
Catacama said, wouldn't
Um,
it be a good idea to inform your employer about the cult that also seek this artifact? See if we can know more about them.
There's a chance that Preceptor Rothkin might have some information on them, but I suppose it wouldn't hurt to ask him, certainly.
Hmm.
Catacama said, who knows? Getting a lead on them could lead us to the artifact.
Yeah, figure out where they're looking.
That's true.
They might have some information that we don't have. Good idea.
Which is none.
But those guys seemed really weird. Do you really want to mess with them?
Don't worry, Les. It'll be them messing with us, and
Catacama said, I'll mess
they'll
them
regret
alright.
it.
Oh man. Alright, where's the captain?
Yeah, let's go have a chat with Preceptor Rothkin.
Captain, our captain.
okay. So you're gonna leave the dining area and go to the offices in the keep. When you get there, now I can't remember Minerva
Yes.
knows what she's looking for, and she goes and she speaks with the one scribe who's busy sorting through some information in one of the offices.
I need to get me a glass of water.
After speaking for a few moments with them, Minerva turns back to the group. Unfortunately, Rothkin isn't in right now.
Aww.
Ah,
Okay.
He's a busy man. But Haleg, the Edelic Knight Seer, is still in the keep, and he should be able to see you for a few minutes.
All right, let's go find out if he's busy then.
Chances are you'll find him, since it's still morning. You find him in the church area of them. Can't think of the word for it, but there's a church on site because
Chapel, yeah.
of course, a chapel, yes, because the knights are fairly religious. So you head to the chapel and you go in.
Make our way along.
And you go to the sort of adjoining room in the church, in the chapel, because the chapel is empty now. The morning service is already finished. Minerva goes to one of the side rooms and knocks on the door. And a voice from inside asks you to come in. So you file into the room, and Haleg's there, just reading through a book at a desk. It's a small desk. It's a small room, but you all fit inside because you don't take up that much space as a group. What
Do
can
you
I
have a
do
moment
for
to
you?
see us here?
Yes, of course. Please come in.
My fan is actually all the way over on the other side of my room, Wes.
Oh, jeez.
We were wondering if you might have any information about another group that is, from what we've learned, looking for the artifact we're after.
Oh yes, your assignment. What group?
They're known as the Cult of the Seared.
His brow furrows as he thinks on it, and he sort of scowls. He regains his composure. Oh, are they involved in this?
So it would seem, aye.
You know of them.
Yes, we know of them. They're a relatively small group, but they're fanatics.
Oh, dear.
We've dealt with them before. They're mostly, demon worshippers. Nothing too spectacular from what we can tell. Well, we've scuffled with them in the past. Dreadful people. But
Of course.
we more or less stomped them out like 60 years ago. Well, not us personally. The previous preceptor before Rothkin. The cult had risen in power. They were making visible shows of force. So the Edelic Knights stepped in, suppressed it, and we thought that was the last of them. Though if they're back and they're involved in this again, that's going to be problematic.
Oh, dear.
He closes his book and he stands up and he's sort of tapping his finger on his chin as he thinks. Unfortunately, Rothkin's not here. He had business to attend to at the castle. But I think I'm going to gather up a few of the knights we have here and have them investigate this matter further. If you guys come up with any more information on what the cult's doing and if they're involved with the head altar's bone, let us know right away, okay?
We were actually hoping that you might have some information you could give us. I'm sure that we have a number of men afield. Can you say that you've heard anything of their movements of late?
follow me back to the office. Let me check some of the dispatches.
Of
And he
course.
leaves the room, motioning you to follow. You head back up to the offices, and he goes into Rothkin's study and starts leafing through some of the scrolls that are laying open on the table. Ah, here it is, he says after a moment of scanning the page. We had some activity coming in from some villages in the east, and it was nothing specific though, but missing farm animals, bloody scenes. I didn't put any heed to it before, but it could be that the cult's being active in that area. I'll have to get word out to our knights stationed out there, just to be sure, but
Much appreciated.
it is worrying if they're mulling about in the area again.
I definitely don't look forward to dealing with their sort, but I have the feeling it will be inevitable.
Yes, if they're sticking their noses into this, it's gonna pretty much force us to deal with them. Had no idea that they were still active in any functioning capacity, so this is quite concerning. Sorry I don't have more information about this, but pretty much all of them were wiped out before, and we didn't have any new information leading to this
No,
till
it's
now.
no problems. Yeah. Thank you so much for your assistance.
Of course.
Katakama said appreciated.
Alrighty.
Dang.
So at the
Well,
very least, we've got some idea of direction that we could take.
you know, we're not really in a much better position than we were in before. It's still a whole lot of nothing.
At the very least, we've got whisperings now, though.
But following,
Rather,
well,
it's better to follow whispers than to follow our own ideas, if you know what I mean.
oh man, I guess.
And either way, they're leading in the same direction.
All right, what's the worst that could happen? I mean, we could get captured by crazed cultists and
I could name
lynched
any number of things that could happen. Would you like
You went to
know?
find the cult and then you died. You went out on a whim, haha, denied. What's the worst that could happen? Eldritch Blast, Witch Bolt, Dominate Beast, Druid Craft, Lightning Bolt, all of those things could happen.
Specifically those 5.
This,
So what's the plan?
I'm really not a fan of any of this.
Oh, jeez.
Well, to be fair, Cisco isn't even a fan of, starting this adventure. But there's
do you have
fame
to
and fortune involved, so of course she wants to.
What do you have to suggest, Siska?
I guess if there's no other option, we should probably check out that town, but
The only other option would be asking others around town in the city, and that we've already seen what attention that has gotten us so far.
Actually, hold on. Why didn't we think of this
Katakama
before?
said following these whispers is better than heading somewhere on a wild goose chase.
Well, we could track down that weird guy from last night. I mean, he's obviously involved, and I doubt he gotten very far out of the city if he left the city. Didn't seem like
Chances
he
are
was
he
going
looks like
anywhere.
the sort he would stay here. He's an aristocrat, a noble.
Right.
Supposedly.
However, that does make matters more complicated if we were to try to track him down, given the fact that he may well be staying very close to the castle. He'd likely have his own security, etc.
So we bust in, we beat him up, and then we get the information we need, right?
I don't think it's quite that simple, to be fair.
Especially since we've heard from our good friend that this cult has influence within the castle itself. We don't
That
know
being said,
exactly
I'm
how
all
up
for
that goes. So it's possible that if we did go in, as you say, busting down doors and whatnot, it could land us in a rather difficult legal position.
All this bureaucratic crap is so complicated.
She's so keen to go kick down a door and beat up some guy, but not to travel to another town. I think she's just afraid of being on a horse again.
Son of a bitch, we found her out.
Nervous chirping.
Heard you talking shit.
So what's the plan, guys? We're probably like, what, 20 minutes in, and you guys have only
We haven't left the
managed to...
barracks.
No, we left the barracks. We went to the other barracks.
We
Went to the
walked
office,
5
went
feet
to the
away.
chapel, back
Yeah.
to the office.
Oh.
Oh my god. We went to Rothkin's office, yes?
Yeah.
After we
Yeah,
after we
you're
talked to
now- Yeah, you spoke with Hollig at the chapel, and
We talked to two
You
people at
followed
in the
him?
same building.
you followed him back to Rothkin's office so he could check the dispatch, which mentioned activities that could be linked to the cult. And
Mhm.
then you left the office, so you're currently standing in the waiting room where you guys first met.
Did he say what the name of the town was?
He mentioned it, but it's just it's one of the small farming villages out in
All
Mimura.
right.
There's dozens of them, so
It doesn't matter.
important. Your characters know it. I just don't feel like fudging a name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Indeed. Alright, I'm going to,
We'll call it Hay Whistle.
because I did not think to bring it up to this year before, I will leave a note regarding what Korvoth told us about the cult having potentially infiltrated the castle.
Well, hold on. Can we trust the seer if that's true?
That's why I'm leaving the note for Rothkin.
Can we trust Rothkin?
I would trust him with more than my life.
All right.
He's saved it once before. At least.
That sounds like quite the tale.
Okay,
You
so-
know him better than I do. I'll trust your judgment on this one, but it kind of seems like a bad idea.
So you write the note and leave it for Rothkin.
Yeah.
You leave it in his study.
And then I guess we can, unless Mayray, you've got skills at gathering information. Do you think you would want a chance at trying to look at whatever this nobleman might have?
That's true. If we find out who his friends are, we might be able to find out, where the rest of these guys are in the city.
Yeah, it might be able to confirm at the very least any potential digging sites.
He's basically asking DC if, because you're experienced in information
You're
gathering, and you're
spies.
familiar
Can you
with the
spy
city,
around?
if you can track down this guy somehow or find out information on him.
It's up to you if you don't think it's worth the risk, certainly, but
Unfortunately, he didn't bother giving you the courtesy of his name, so you really don't have a lot to go on.
we know his description. We saw him.
He's an aristocrat. He's kind of foppish, kind of a jerk.
He's a cunt.
Yeah.
He's got a
So
big old red
literally
and black cloak.
every medieval noble person.
Yeah, so we just go through all their stuff.
Yeah,
in one of the biggest cities on the continent.
rip and
That's
tear,
fine.
rip and tear.
Catacama said, I don't think we have the info. We need to track him down. Sadly,
Alrighty, that's
I
fair
mean,
enough.
How many? I mean, to be fair, how many nobles in this city have red and black heraldry anyhow?
Have what?
Had red and black heraldry. He was wearing red and black.
Oh, that's true.
A lot of them. You'd be surprised how common the common color combinations that look nice go together. Because the city literally has people from like every single country like coming here for trade. So like you will literally find like 5 different houses all with the same like blue and white lion heraldry,
Yeah.
even though they come from different places and have nothing to do with each other. It actually causes a lot of like grief amongst the people because they really don't like finding out they're not original.
Catacama said that small village is the best chance we have.
I'm inclined to agree.
Yeah, at this point, that's what it looks like. Alright, let's go get murdered at a small village far away from all the knights and protection of the city. Can't wait.
I mean, if you would prefer, we could go get murdered by some monster out in the woods.
I would!
Or some alligators. and
Catacama
sewers.
said thumbs up for murder.
So you finally decided you're gonna leave.
Yeah,
We're gonna
finally,
settle.
40 minutes later.
Yeah.
I think
So-
literally.
So you can go to the stables, get mounted up. You have some supplies in your bags.
How are you doing well today, Jeffrey?
The Eolic Knight's Keep is on the eastern part of the city, anyways, so it won't be a long travel before you like leave the city limits
Yeah, we get out of the gates. in
through
no
the
time,
gates
pretty much.
into the open countryside. A human.
Yes, I'm a human.
Who named?
I am a meat popsicle.
Yeah. And Mimurrin,
Sounds
popsicle.
delicious.
She can run at people without getting distracted.
It's true.
It's a useful talent.
Especially in this party.
I'm really good at running at your face.
I got distracted from my own well-prepared expedition.
Okay. So mounted up, the 4 of you ride through the city gates without
Yep,
issue.
got my weapons and I've already got my armor on, so.
Out into the sweeping landscape. You're on the main road that heads gradually to a east-southeast direction. Because there's a river relatively close, like a large one, so you'll sort of ride alongside it
Yeah.
for a while before you come across any bridges or anything that'll get you sort of closer to your destination. But, you know, green hills, farmland stretches out quite far in both directions across the river. As far as it is, you can still see farmland because such a big city requires a lot of farm to keep it going, and farming is one of the biggest occupations in Mimura,
Right.
besides the stone trade of the mountain dwarves and the wood trade of the wood
Oh.
dwarves.
Wait a second, is this a halfling village
Where?
that we're going to?
No.
Okay, never mind.
A small village doesn't mean halfling.
That's racist.
They just happen to have a model village, Dover. God, come on. You never seen Hot Fuzz before? It's common enough.
So you ride along. You're making good time going along on the road. It's a very serene ride. Most of you aren't quite used to riding on horses, but you grow accustomed to it after a while. I mean, your backsides are gonna hurt from riding in a saddle all day, but
I mean, some of
at least
these
your feet
fools.
don't hurt.
I
Yeah,
mean,
some are more experienced than others.
yeah, exactly.
I'd really rather just fly.
You stop every so often to rest the horses, let them get drinks, all that. And you
Yeah,
continue
enjoy a
on,
snack ourselves.
make a good time. As the sun starts to set,
I try to flavor up the rations a little bit.
On the horizon, you start to make considerations to stopping to camp at the night for the night. But on the road ahead of you, you notice a lone individual riding ahead on a simple
Catacamera said, I
pony.
use mage hand to touch Cisco on the shoulder. On the side, there's no one there.
Oh my god!
Why?
Infinite spook works.
Oh.
Like I'm probably riding I'm riding at the rear. I probably see this happen. That's amazing.
I am the ghost of my spook.
But up
what's
ahead
the,
on the road,
What's the side of the road like so far? Any good clearings yet, or nah?
well, I mean, most of the land's relatively flat. There's shrubs along the way.
Yeah, but we also got to make sure that we're not camping out in somebody's fields.
Well, there's clearance. There's a fair, probably league or so to your right of just sort of rolling grassland before you get to any fences for the fields.
Mhm.
Because obviously they don't want the fields right up to the road because a lot of people travel along the roads.
Okay, I gotcha. All right, what's this?
But to your left-hand side is the river, relatively closer, on a bit of a downward. There's a small hill from the road.
Pumpkin Hill.
I'm gonna kill you.
If Alpha leaves, it's because the lightning finally got its revenge. Revenge of the Sith.
Oh my god!
Unlimited power.
Force lightning.
What's the person riding up ahead look like? Can I see them? How well can I see them?
Well, it takes you a bit to get close enough to see them because they're riding on a pony. That you can you identify that it's a pony after a while, and you realize that it's not that they're very far away; it's just that they're very small. And they're riding at a gentle trot. You know, they're in no hurry to get anywhere. But as you get closer, you realize that it's a very small person.
Who
They
left
appear
this
to be
child
armed.
out
You
in
would?
the wilderness? I quickly fly off my horse and land in front of him and just scream in his face, "Are you okay, child?"
Why? Yes, I am. Oh, how lucky of me. Are you a harpy?
I am. Are you? What are you? Why are you here, all alone by yourself?
Well, I was traveling, you see. I like to move about, see new places, meet new people.
Where,
It is
but,
quite fortuitous of me to see someone such as you. I haven't had the chance to travel to the south.
but where are your parents?
Likely still back at insert place where my family is from here. Why do you regard my parents? I'm of no noble sort.
I mean,
Does this individual appear to be armed, Dirge?
Does
I
he
had
have
a
Catacamera
arms?
said, hey, PR. Cisco. That's not the child.
what are you talking about? Of course he is. Look, he has the...
Oh, she thought that I'm a halfling, miss.
A what?
You
A
didn't think
halfling.
this was the case when you saw Gabby.
Well, duh, he has a beard. Mutton chops. Kids don't have beards. What do I look like? Some kind of idiot? Bird brain?
Speaking of being an
um,
idiot, does somebody want to go get Siska's horse? No, but it's wandered off and it's a long walk. Someone might want to go get it.
No, it's fine. Siska can fly over
also,
there.
ma'am, I believe that your horse is going on its own.
No, he's fine.
I told
but
you to look after him, Siska.
I am. He's
It's
right
fine.
there.
I'll
he's
get him.
He's still in eye shot. It's fine.
He goes to get
I
the
know,
horse.
Jeffrey.
You know they can move faster than you can.
That's Doubtful.
Catacamera said Mary goes after the horse.
I
Okay,
don't
so
believe you.
Mary and Gabby go to stop the horse from getting too far away.
Catacamera said and brings it back.
There, disaster
Wait.
mitigated.
I really wanted it to be that Mary just lifted it up over her shoulders.
No, but that's your job, Sugar.
No, but she's a big girl too.
Yeah, but she's lithe. You gotta. She's alluring and slender, not a
Catacamera said I'm small.
butthead. Apparently, she's also sassy.
Small.
Yeah, and Minerva is THICC.
Extra.
Extra.
Onyx
Okay.
Leo said extra thick.
The
You
question
spelled it
mark.
wrong. Anyways,
So no, I am not a child, ma'am. I am of 36 years of age.
What? How are you older than me?
That's not too
Yeah,
uncommon.
but we don't tend to age that much. My grandfather on my mother's side has lived to be 130 at this,
That's
given
weird.
that his age is still strong.
How is it that you know so much about magical beasts, but you don't know about the more sapient individuals that inhabit the realm?
I really don't
Is-
spend that much time in villages. I spend most of my days out in the field, so all this.
Oh, are you a farmer? Did
No.
you observe-
No, I'm not a farmer. She like pushes up her glasses, like all proud, and puffs out her chest. I'm a monster ethologist. I study monsters and monster behaviors and monster abilities and monster eating habits and just about anything you can imagine.
Well, it's lucky that I have met you then. Have you run across any interesting ones, or are you just leaving the city?
I haven't ventured too far from the city. I've read about many interesting monsters.
Oh, so you
before, though.
haven't met anything yet. That's unfortunate.
I'm
I get
not
the
a-
feeling that she's going to get more than her fair chance to soon enough.
I
Oh, are you
wa-
traveling somewhere?
Aye. That we are. We're headed east.
Dirge, what way was I heading on this road?
I think you were heading west. You were heading towards us.
no, he was riding east as well. He just wasn't,
Oh.
going very fast.
He was
He
taking
was,
his
he
time.
was sauntering along,
Mm.
enjoying the view, and you
Ah.
happened to catch up to him.
He was ghost riding. He had a boombox on his horse. It was
Hey,
just...
Ghost Ride the Whip! Yeah! Ghost Ride the Whip!
just shucking and jiving right next to it.
Well, that is interesting, as I am also heading east.
There's safety in numbers. We're about to make camp. Possibly you'd like to join us.
Yeah. I see that as fine, I suppose. I'm tend to travel at night as well.
Really?
Yes, the great god Cormer is always at my side.
I will
Did I
certainly take your word for it.
Did I say that name right, Dirge?
Cormor?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Cormer?
Go
Okay.
more.
I don't
Okay,
know
didn't
much
know if it
about
had like
religions.
any accents on it.
That's strange and weird. I quickly flutter over next to Minerva. I kind of whisper, "Do you think this guy checks out? I don't really trust him as far as I could throw him, which it's probably pretty far. So I guess I trust him a lot."
I mean, if you flew up every turn and then dropped
Like-
him, you could throw him as far as gravity allows.
Not really throwing though. That's
Well,
just
I mean,
dropping.
Dropping
isn't
with
it
style.
negligent with a
Drop.
toss? Maybe an updraft will catch him and carry him further. You know, as luck would have it, he'd probably bounce. But
Yeah.
does bouncing count?
Maybe. I'll dismount and offer him my hand and also a big old smile. The name's Minerva.
Given that I am probably at like waist height or chest height of your character, I probably wouldn't have to dismount to be at your level.
That's why I'm dismounting, but not you.
Farron Thornbottle, pleased to meet you.
And you as well. A man of the faith, then.
Ah, quite. My patron Cormer has blessed me with the ability to go about anywhere with such grand luck of mine.
A wise and noble gift. Absolutely. We'd be welcome. We'd be more than glad to help you to welcome you into the fold, so to say.
It would surely interest me if nothing
Curry
else.
squad.
I lean in next to Gabby and I just ask him,
Huh?
"Who's Forver? What was it? Was it Corver? Who's that?
Or more.
Cormor. Who's Cormor?
He's the colorflank.
Oh, okay. So that checks out.
That checks out.
Okay, cool.
I will.
I give him a subtle, not so subtle thumbs up.
I will reach over with one arm and pull Siska in right over her
Guardians
shoulders.
of
Ain't no passing
You
thing.
reach over like 3 feet.
It's awesome. With this party now, we almost equal 3 full people.
You already met this one. She's Siska.
Okay,
Our
Siska.
one
I
friend
see.
back there is
Hi, Gabby. It's
Gabby.
a pleasure to meet you. Gabby Cook at your service.
I see. Did you introduce as Gabby the cook or just Gabby?
Gabby Cook
Cook's
is
last name.
Oh, okay. Okay.
It's what I'm
It's what I'm called.
Okay.
He's the cook.
I'm the cook.
Catacamera
And
said my
the Dragonborn. Oh, Myri, that is quite interesting to meet a Dragonborn. I have not seen one of you in a long time either.
You don't spend very much time in the city, do you?
Catacamera said I bite.
I
Now,
see.
now, Myri.
Save that for later. You only just met him.
Oof. Oof. Woof.
Oh my! All right. Well, the sun's starting to set, and with introductions out of the way, you guys should probably set up camp.
Yeah. That's
Um,
what we're doing.
let's see. Can I
Ooh,
roll?
I get to cook dinner.
What's the word I'm looking for? Let me check my sheet real quick. Can I roll for not perception? I guess nature to just know what kind of monsters are generally found in the area that might attack us at night.
You could.
Is
Yeah, you
that
could roll a nature check.
Okay. So that is 1d20 plus the 5 points that I have.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Okay.
And Gabby wants to cook food.
Mhm.
So to do
I
that,
still got
he's gonna
some
need a
potatoes. Yeah, I do need a fire. I still got a couple of leftover potatoes and some chicken.
I have a tinderbox, I believe. Yes, I
have a
do.
tinderbox?
There's a hand axe. Someone should have a tent.
We have 2
Oh.
tents, if I recall.
Yeah, I
Actually,
think there's 2 different pack horses
Let's
with
see.
tents. Well, like 2 different packs with tents. Some rations. Gabby still has.
I still have my.
That's
full,
true, DC.
Are you? What type of dragon are you? Dragon? Oh, lightning.
I have
Oh,
a tinderbox myself, though.
I mean, you could. You probably destroy most of the firewood. Well, when someone gets firewood,
Not to mention, I have alchemical fire, so.
that would probably cause fumes.
No, it's fine. It adds to the flavor. It adds flavor.
Psychoactive. Mary, do you want to go gather the wood, or do you want to set up the tents? I'll take whichever one you're.
What spells do you have again?
Who, me?
who? Me?
No, DC. Yeah, because I just remembered he's a sorcerer, not a thief.
Is it firebolt or lightning bolt?
It's probably
Lightning bolt. Lightning bolt.
That lightning bolt is a higher level spell.
Well, I mean firebolt reflavored with lightning.
Oh, right.
Yeah, because he's letting anyone be
Yeah,
that one
that's right.
wizard background.
Lightning firebolt.
Okay.
Lightning flavored. What does that taste
Ooh.
like? What's it taste like, Alpha?
Lightning?
Yeah.
Kind of irony.
Ah.
Tastes a lot like iron because it just kind of fries the blood in your system.
Mayri, do you want to set up tents though, or would you prefer to go gather the wood?
But how would you prepare it?
Prepare the fire?
Prestidigitation is that
Metacamera says
cleanup
I'll
spell,
set
right?
attempts. If you don't mind,
Go right ahead. I leave it to you. I will take my hand axe.
Oh, well, if you have prestidigitation, that also allows you to create minor sparks and whatnot, which you could use to light the fire. So if you want to flavor it as you know, using magic to breathe a little spark, that's fine. Yeah.
Okay.
Wait a minute, I have.
So what do I know about the Monstars near us?
Okay. Flipping through, because you have a book on monster ecology, don't you?
Yep.
Yeah, so you're flipping through that, just being useless to the group as everyone else tries to set up camp.
Yep.
Is it, now, out of curiosity, is your book on fauna of the area or flora?
Both, depending on if the flora is sentient.
If the flora is
Massive
sentient, does that
carnivorous
mean they
plant.
have meat?
What'd you say, Dor?
If the flora is sentient, does that mean they have meat?
Tree
Not-
meat?
Does broccoli have meat?
Well,
Is
it
broccoli
has,
sentient?
It depends on who you ask.
This shit posting needs to stop.
no, I just have to figure out if I can cook plant sticks.
Oh, I guess it.
There are such a thing as mushroom steaks.
Yeah, I was just
Yeah.
about to say. It depends
Yeah.
on how thick it is.
And
Juicy.
prickly pear steaks.
Okay,
Yum.
so she flips through her monster
Some
ecology
mushrooms are
book,
sentient. Got it.
taking in consideration the landscape around, and she comes on two potentially useful passages. One is about the giant serpents that tend to live in large bodies of water, so
Ooh.
the river could potentially be filled
Seedramon!
with deadly monsters.
Freaking Seedramon, man!
I knew this is
Every
how I was
frickin'
gonna
day.
die. Anyways, and another potential, thing that could come out.
Don't say a giant Hercules beetle.
No,
no, it's a
No,
rhinoceros beetle. Get it right.
she has a passage on owl bears, and
Ooh.
Ooh.
Those aren't fun.
they while they shouldn't be this close to the sea, are out in nature, so it's possible one could show up, and that's her justification for it.
Okay.
So with great concern, she now realizes that they could all get eaten by owl bears in their sleep.
I like these odds.
Slight worry.
Oh, and then the giant serpents that could live in the river and come and get them while the owl bears are attacking.
Wait, but what if they fight each other?
Dude,
And then
they
we just
team up,
watch
though?
like a kaiju
What
battle.
if the owl bears wield the giant serpents
my
as
God.
weapons?
What if the giant serpents wield the owl bears?
Or giant serpents that when they hiss, they spit owl bears from their mouth? Siska is worried. Siska is worried. Chirp, 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 chirp. Danger, danger.
In a campaign that I'm in right now, someone just taught druids how to turn into drop bears.
Oh,
Oh,
geez.
no.
Oh no.
One is an
drop
eagle,
bears.
the other is a newt. The eagle drops the newt, newt turns into a bear.
Bear holding shark.
Okay, so
Yeah, I'm getting the firewood. DC's Mary's setting up the tents.
Um,
I'm cooking dinner.
Maybe gives a quick
Mr. Thicklebottom, do you have any
puff
preference?
of her mouth to light the logs that Minerva had gathered to start the fire so that Gabby could start cooking, which she goes to with great earnest. Siska whips herself into a frenzy of scared, looking up monsters, and she's now trying to warn the group on the dangers of weaponized owl bears.
Chirp, chirp, chirp!
Guys, okay, before we get too set up, we need to form a perimeter around the camp. We need to form a giant circle around the campsite, and that'll keep the owlbears out.
What will the circle do? What is the circle made out of?
They hate circles.
What?
They hate them.
Won't that just make them upset?
No, it'll scare them off. I'm honest. It's right here.
I will let him think whatever he wants until he gets eaten. That's on him.
I mean, I have proficiency in nature.
I also have proficiency in nature.
I'm telling you guys.
I'm gonna kill you.
Let me pull it
I
up
throw
on
Siska's book into the fire.
Let me pull it up
It
on
would
screen.
probably
There we
make
go.
good.
There,
It would
SL.
probably
That's
make
what
good
I call
fire
cooking
starter.
by the book.
No!
Oh my gosh.
Alpha said that would probably make very good Tinder. And then Doru said, and that's what I call cooking by the book. Jesus Christ. I am going to roll. I guess could I roll survival check to try to disguise our campsite from the road a little bit, like use concealing shrubberies.
Well, there's
Bring us a
really not a
shrubbery.
lot to do. Especially with a fire going, you'll be a pretty clear beacon. But the area around you is relatively flat, so it's
No, but
doubtful that
bring
anyone's
me a
gonna
strawberry.
sneak up on you.
Okay. I would still be feeling rather safe with concealing shrubbery. However, I will accept this answer.
Too bad we don't have an elf to watch at night.
That's fine. We just take turns.
All right.
Indeed.
So Gabby finishes cooking up his meal.
Well, actually, did I even get Mr. Thicklebottom's preference?
What?
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 Your preference for what to eat?
I have food, thank you.
No, I insist.
He is quite the chef. I do.
I didn't
can't
hear a
argue
single
that
thing
point.
that Doru just said there.
He said he insists.
And I insist on my food. Thank you.
I scowl.
Roll
Looks like your luck. Look like your luck has just run out, Pilgrim.
Oh my god.
Well, it isn't. Well, the luck god is not the one that he actually sold his soul to.
It's fine.
Don't worry about it.
All right, so dinner goes off without a hitch. I hope. The day that
We blow
Mary-
ourselves up.
The day that Mary reveals that she can flavor her food with prestidigitation is the day that Gabby snaps and kills everyone. So
Are you
everyone
flavoring it like meat every single time?
You bet
Everyone-
he is.
sits around the fire.
I'm gonna kill you.
I like how he's delegitimized Siska in a day. From famed monster ecologist to the person that writes those like magazines that talk about how
Fucking
aliens have
clickbait.
played with the president.
I never
It
knew
all makes
Cisco worked
sense
for
now.
Gawker.
No, it's cocker, like cocker doodle doo. Anyway, so they sit around the fire eating.
I will
It's
tell
getting late.
stories.
Oh yeah, Minerva's
Yeah.
gonna go back to stories.
Yeah, Minerva's good with stories.
I'm still
So,
grumpy.
a continuation of her stories of Sir Talith, the Edelic Knight, who
There
once
you go.
rode against a herd of wild boar with a single lance and was victorious.
Wait, didn't we hear that?
Yeah, but
one?
I didn't get to finish before.
Oh,
Hey, so you get
okay.
to finish.
Plus, Mr. Thicklebottom hasn't heard it.
Thicklebottom.
Thorn bottle.
Thicklebottom?
Thicklebottom. No, just keep going.
This is better, Alpha.
This is his revenge. For refusing his food, he's gonna call you Thicklebottom for the rest
How much HP?
of your.
How much HP does he have? Because I'm pretty sure I could kill him in one shot.
Excuse you, I have exactly 10
Oh come on,
HP.
it's
OTC
level 1.
probably could.
Everyone can get one shot.
That's
I
true.
know.
Yes, but I
cat
can
could
roll a luck
one-shot you.
save.
I can also roll a luck save to negate
Oh
all
shoot,
of
that
yours.
negates my luck. But that also mitigates your luck.
Yeah.
Strange, isn't it?
Dormammu, I've come to bargain. Doru hasn't seen that one yet.
I had not.
Okay, yeah, story time. We all gather around the
Story time.
campfire.
And singing our campfire songs.
CAMPFIRE.
I will regale them with the tale until everyone is ready for bed, and then I will volunteer myself for first watch.
So Talith, the man with but a single lance that would not break no matter how many times he struck, rode down a herd of wild dire boars as they rode towards a small village. And he worked for many hours, riding back and forth, slaying boar after boar. And when the last one fell, the villagers, overjoyed, threw a great feast, cooking all the boars he had slain for a mighty meal, and then used their pelts to fashion him the finest cloak in all the lands.
Oh, my
That's
mouth
the
is
story
watering.
of Sir Talith the Boar Slayer.
I like
And
everything
lo,
about this
many
story.
blowjobs were awarded.
What, hold on. Hold-
I mean, I'm sure the village women
We're
were single
grateful.
and buxom and oh so grateful for their hero. A just reward for so great a night, the greatest night on life. The talent.
Brave, so talented.
There always has to be a
Against the
little
boars.
bit of embellishment.
He struck every one of them down. And then got a blowjob.
Several. Several.
More than one.
The bards
Plural.
weren't very creative with that one, were they?
Not everyone can be a hit.
It's played in the seedier bars.
All right, everyone, you get some rest. I'll wake one of you up when it comes time.
Okay.
I haven't decided who yet.
So everyone else heads to bed as Minerva stands watch. After a while,
I'll certainly do my best to keep us safe.
as the flames go low, Minerva just keeping the fire stoked a bit to give off a bit of light, but otherwise not feeding the fire too much because it don't need much of a flame. The moon is bright in the sky, so it's not hard to see. The night's fairly clear and quiet. At a bit around midnight, Minerva's starting to get tired, and now it's time for her to put someone else on watch. Minerva, who are you going to wake up?
All right, let's see. There's 4 of you.
And you're all incompetent.
2. It's Gabby.
Oh, God, no.
Oh, no.
Good choice.
I'll
I think we need to wake Gabby
saunter
up.
on into the tent.
Me, 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 me.
Ah,
Me, 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 me,
Oi. Nudge him with the toe of my boot.
me.
It's time to get up. It's your watch.
Of course.
Mary hisses in her sleep.
Wait, that's cute as shit.
And in the other tent. Chirp, 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 chirp. Owlbears, oh no, owlbears, ah.
And then
Owlbears, I'm
Alpha's
doing triple
Alpha's just sitting there, laying there with bloodshot eyes, like, what did I sign up to? What?
So Gabby gets
Holy
up,
shit.
rubs the sleep from his eyes, and exits the tent so that he can take a watch.
Yeah, have a good rest then.
Oh.
I disrobe from my armor and get comfortable.
Minerva goes to sleep as Gabby stands watch through the twilight hours.
Do I need to roll a check to stay awake or something?
No, but you can roll a perception check.
I would like to roll a perception check. I have a 0 in perception, so this
So
should go well.
1d20.
Man, I
One
didn't
d
get a
one.
perception check.
Well, you didn't
Because it was
ask.
still the beginning of the night.
3.
You
Yeah,
should
you
have
gotta
picked
wait for the
me.
You wait for
Ooh.
the fighter to take their armor off before you spring an ambush, obviously.
I am wide.
That's true. That's true.
I am
Every
wide
time.
awake.
Though through the night, Gabby doesn't see anything out of the ordinary. It's a couple hours till dawn.
Are there
Um,
anything that looks tasty?
Rabbits.
This
grass.
is really easily distracted.
We're putting our lives in in these hands.
Mhm.
There's tiny
I
hands.
have a medicine and a healer's kit.
The only one prepared.
And an herbalism kit.
Hey, I have healing drafts.
Oh, Alpha is freaking
that
Milo
dude from
Murphy.
oh,
Look at that sun. Look at this guy. Look at my sweater vest. I look so fly.
I also do have healing elixir as my first level spell.
Good, good. Because these goofballs are gonna need it.
You
Yeah,
bet.
but I have
Siska puts
healing
on a
drafts. I
Siska
have
puts on a mask. I need healing.
I need a healing.
It's fine. I can heal myself. I'm Roadhog. I can heal myself. I've got second wind.
He's extra thick.
Extra thick.
extra thick.
All right.
Anyway.
So it's a few hours until dawn. Gabby doesn't see anything. Doru, does Gabby want to just continue his watch until the early morning and then start breakfast, or does he want a few more hours of sleep so he'll get someone else to watch?
I'm just gonna stay up until breakfast.
Okay. So
Take a point of fatigue.
as the sun rises in the east, Gabby stirs up the fire so he can start making breakfast. It's rations, so it's nothing spectacular, but he's gonna try and make it work all the same.
Of course. I can still flavor it of jerky at the very least.
So you can start getting up now, everyone else.
Yeah.
The sun, it's probably around 7 a.m.
Okay.
But the sun has come up. It's a nice warm day.
Are there birds chirping besides Siska sleeping?
Yeah, there's
Is
birds
Siska
in
still
the
asleep
sky.
in the tent?
If there's birds, then there must be eggs.
Well, she's an early riser. She wakes up at like what, 5:30?
She's an
We
early
talked
bird.
about Siska laying eggs already, Doru. Come on.
No, but if there's birds, there's eggs.
Yeah, but these birds are just flying by. You'd have to, go make survival checks and whatnot to try and find eggs and all that.
Yeah, true. Which,
For now, though,
yeah.
you're working on breakfast. Everyone else is getting up. You'll probably want to start breaking down camp once everyone's awake.
Hey,
Is Siska still in the tent asleep?
No, she's waking up with everyone else. She's a bird. She wakes
Okay.
up early.
I set aside a serving for Thicklebottom
I'm still just gonna have stuff for my rations.
That name's gonna get one word longer every,
Every
time.
time.
I'm glad it doesn't only happen to me. No. I mean, it's not as good as a name as All Terrain, but
I will rise and shine and do some exercise, push-ups, it's shadow boxing, etc.
Oh, fancy.
right?
Just to make sure I'm all loosened up.
What's Siska doing?
Let's see. She wakes up, she stretches a bit, just kind of looks
And then buries
around.
her beak
Wait
in
a
a book.
minute, hold on.
Yeah.
Is there still some leftover potatoes, Urge?
You've probably only got like one left.
That's still enough for some small potato pancakes.
Very small. Is there enough
Very
for
small.
like 5 people?
Oh, well,
There's enough.
two people and then like 3 midgets. So
Exactly.
Okay, that's
Maybe.
fine.
And one of them's not going to eat it anyways.
You bet. It's freaking easy.
Oh, no, DC. You should use it to change the flavor of what Doru is eating to like something really awful.
Oh no! He'll waste all our rations, making it perfect.
Yet. You aren't that mean yet.
All right.
Oh my god! I can
Make
see
it-
that happening.
Make it taste like oranges when he didn't put any citrus in it at all.
He will. We won't go anywhere. He'll spend hours.
Actual days.
Died before they lived.
No, he doesn't, but
I imagine he would notice you sitting there chanting some magic words and
I
Waving
roll.
your
Do I
fingers.
need to roll perception for this?
Bippity boppity boo.
not unless she's gonna go do it out of sight.
Oh, well.
He would still hear you muttering at the very least, but because it requires vocal and somatic components.
Well, now
Yeah.
that'll require a stealth check, I think.
Sneaky
I mean
breaky.
his verbal components could just be humming or some such.
They tend to be magic words of some sort. I mean, well memorized words because
Not to mention, I have a +3 in Arcana.
But I mean, well, no, it would be. You would do a sleight of hands check versus his Arcana.
Ooh.
I like this better.
That, or you go and stand behind one of the tents and do it.
Mm.
Hey, he's gonna make the check. What a
He's gonna
stealthy
go
bitch.
for it. Damn.
Oh.
Yeah.
She just sprinkles
I rolled
magical
sleight of
over her
hand to
food.
make rude gestures.
She just like waits for Gabby to like turn around to dig through his pack for the potato, and then she just starts waving her arms. Bippity boppity boo. Turns back. Did you see something? Nope. Not a thing. All right.
Mm.
So
You're lucky. You get this. You get 1 DC. Just because they're rations.
you finish your breakfast. You break camp, and put out the fire, and you make your way back to the road, mount it again, and continue on the way.
Did you enjoy your breakfast, Mr. Pickle Thicklebottom?
I'm going to completely act as though I did not notice his remark.
Good.
As luck would have it, he has a high propensity for stupid people. So you ride for most of the day. Sun
Yeah. I'll take
travels across the sky.
I'll take point in terms of our marching order, and I'll keep an eye out on the road.
I'll
Uh,
probably be number 2 in asking Minerva what is like going on here, like what the party is doing.
Okay, Minerva, how much information do you want
Yeah,
to
I
tell
was
your
gonna-
new companion?
Yeah. I'll tell them
'Cause-
we're. Decent.
Never trust a spy to give information.
Uh,
Alpha,
I'm a
you-
member of the Idalic Knights out of.
well, hold on, we can
Dallas.
expedite things. Alpha, did you watch the
They're
video?
But yeah, they're after some
Yeah.
bone that's not a bone, but a piece of obsidian from an altar that's someplace that the dwarves like, and they met a couple creepy people, and they didn't really get any info that they thought was relevant to them last session.
So how much information do you want to give Sugar?
We could probably just tell him that we're looking for an artifact.
No, I'm just gonna tell him that I'm a member of the Idalic Knights out of the city. And both me and I was paired together with these individuals from outside the group that were thin on
That's pretty
number.
nice, though.
We are on a mission for the Knights, and our
I see.
lead is taking us out eastwards.
Okay.
What are you doing on this route, if I might ask?
As I said yesterday, I just prefer to travel. I like to see places, and the light of Cormer shines on me wherever I may go. I am blessed with his great luck.
You must be. It's often a dangerous road to travel alone.
Yes, there was one time when I was in meditations up on a mountainside where an avalanche itself caved around me, but I remained steadfast where I stood.
You certainly do have your faith. I can admire that.
Wait, a whole avalanche? What mountains were you on?
To the north, we said these, right?
Yeah, it's in the northern area.
Yeah. To the mountains of
He's
Up
painting
north.
him a cool head.
what?
No, nothing. That was out of
Okay.
cake.
The mountain range is called Madon's Shield. Just in case you were looking for that.
Ooh. Okay.
Ooh. Madonna's
Look at
shield.
that.
Okay, got it.
Madonna's shield.
Because the capital is called Madon. To the northern range is known as Madon's Shield,
Yeah.
which is on the upper half of the continent. To
And
the
then-
east is the Dramsteel Mountains, where the dwarves live, and then the southern mountains that sort of like separate Mamura from the Goldier Desert and parts of the Becklin Empire is known as the Hillock Mountains.
Okay.
Mhm.
And I'm sure Minerva would have some respect for a man of faith, since faith is important to, well, not only the Edelic Knights, who they aren't a religious order per se, but they do. There, it's a fair amount of the members are devout followers of Alozan.
Yeah.
And they train a fair amount of paladins for their order, which
Yeah.
well, they're pretty much the only paladins in the region, because they're the best of the best.
And they are the greatest. They can't be beat.
All right, so the travel through the landscape is fairly uneventful. Evening falls once again on an uneventful but progressive day as you travel along. You're making good
Alrighty.
time. So you'll probably stop for camp for the night. What's everyone gonna do?
Same
Um,
thing. Oh well, we're not
I'm-
much further, so it's probably like the same types of fauna that would bother us, right?
Yeah, serpent riding owl bears.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Are owl bears related to harpies? They're both half bird creatures.
That's worrisome.
That's oof. Now I'm
I
worried.
mean,
That
ducks
thought
do,
crosses my mind, and now I'm worried again. I'll just follow Minerva around and just follow whatever she's doing.
Let's see.
Siska now worries that her book says nothing of it, but owlbears are owls. Can they fly? Oh God, can they fly? She doesn't know.
If
The
I
world
wanted
may never
to
know.
if I wanted to search for some provisions, would I need to do a nature or a survival check?
Survival.
Okay.
Yeah, you'd use nature to identify something you find if you don't know what it is, but survival would be for finding it.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna look for some food that's not rations. Wait, hold on, Trent.
You rolled a 20 and got a 20. What's the probability of that happening?
That's
1.
that wasn't a D. That
I
wasn't.
know. That was the joke I was making, Doru.
That's not a 20.
Can I roll? Can I use a point of luck?
No.
Why not?
Yeah, Lucky is using ability checks as well.
Yeah, the ability check.
He
Although
can.
he's a less-
He's foraging for food. I think he'd save it for something.
This is important, Urge.
Okay then.
He's about to have his long rest anyway.
Exactly. I'm about to have my long rest.
Well, here's the thing. I use mine so that way yours doesn't happen.
Really?
My patron is not the god of luck.
Wow.
Look at this man.
This
You
is
seem
how
to be on
things
an
will be
impasse.
on occasion.
Okay. Do I find anything with a 4?
Well, did you use your point of
I
luck?
used
I
used a
2
point
points
of my
luck
luck.
have been spent.
Yeah, I used my point of luck to make it so that his point of luck doesn't happen. Because if 2 lucks get used on the same check, they negate each other.
Yeah. If more than one creature uses luck, no extra dice are rolled.
Huh,
Yep.
fancy.
Yep. Now you know why I picked my feet, Dirge.
All right,
It
so nobody
makes
else take lucky.
sense. It makes sense with the character.
Does how set is Gabby on finding some food, finding some nash?
Oh,
Gabby
I find
finds
4
4
mulberries.
Oh, I
Oh,
thought
there-
that said nullberries.
Mulberry.
Mulberries.
Gabby finds a small shrub of some mulberries and he collects a few. Their quality rating is 4.
Mm.
So they're not great mulberries, but there's some mulberries.
Not exactly in season.
I mean, plus they grow on trees, so. A mulberry bush is kind of weird anyway.
Which is
We're
why
not
they're not
entirely
very
sure.
good mulberries.
Yeah. Like, are we? Am I sure that these are actually mulberries?
Well, they look like mulberries, and they stain your hands like mulberries, and they taste like mulberries.
But they were a poison. Oh,
Oh well, it's mulberries.
Yeah,
I
they're,
can make a sauce out of them.
they're just a bit more
Out
tart
of 4
than
mulberries.
regular mulberries.
Yeah.
No, the 4 isn't
Okay.
the quantity; it's the quality.
Yeah,
Okay.
Some quality for mulberries, just mulberry sauce, mulberry jam.
The quality of the food is
Mhm.
for the my cooking
Yeah.
homebrew.
Yeah.
I love it.
Who is the one being kept up there?
That's you.
I don't know what your
yeah, it
character
is the
looks
short
like.
one. Yeah.
They're just colorful, lumpy turds. Or Play-Doh. Someone just lined up some Play-Doh.
No, but you also have to draw Minerva looking with distinct judgment towards the tent on the outside.
Like, I like how Siska sleeps face down.
I like how they have 2 tents, but they all decide to just camp in one.
No, it's fine.
We're getting extra cozy.
They put the tents end to end.
Oh yes, it's one long tent. It's a long boy.
Oh man.
We've never been camping before.
Anyway,
So I make some mulberry sauce to go with the hardtack because we're not finding any bread out here.
All right. Given that camp is set up and all that, I'm going to backtrack just a little bit to make sure we're not being followed. At the very least, closely.
Okay.
Okay, and I'm right behind her.
going chirp, chirp, chirp.
Chirp, chirp, chirp.
Shh, quiet. We're doing recon.
Chirp, chirp, chirp. Okay, chirp, chirp, chirp.
It's my warning chirps. It'll scare predators away. Chirp, chirp.
What about the other types of predators? Do you have a chirp for that too?
I have a chirp
Oh, yeah.
for everything.
Like, can Siska actually talk to birds stuff?
Yep.
Yes.
She can
Oh.
speak bird.
Mhm.
They usually don't have much interesting to say.
Ah.
Mostly about eating and fucking.
Yeah.
About their plumage and how beautiful they are and how they want to mate with all the pretty birds.
And also blue and yellow.
I got you, blue. I got you,
And
yellow.
Blue and yellow.
All right. So Minerva and Siska go off a ways just to scout around the camp to see if there's anyone lurking, but they don't find any signs of being followed or being watched or anyone approaching. The evening sets in. Who's going on first watch?
I will, since Minerva did last night.
Much appreciated.
Okay, so Siska will sit up and keep watch as the others go to sleep.
Shrug myself out of all this armor.
The embers burn low as the evening carries on. Past midnight now, and Siska begins to get tired, and she'll go and wake up Mary for next watch. So Siska can go get some sleep,
Yeah.
and Mary sits up and watches the landscape. The moon's still relatively clear in the sky, so that it's relatively easy to see the surroundings. There's still not a lot of shrubbery in the grasslands, so it would be fairly hard for anything to try and sneak up on you. So you don't notice anything. Morning will be in a few hours. Does Mary want to stay up and finish her watch before the sun comes up and breakfast begins, or does she want to get someone else on watch for the last few hours? Okay. So Mary stays up as the sun comes up over the horizon, and everyone else starts to wake up for their morning routines.
Yep.
Let's see. There might be some more mulberry jam left. I don't know. Mulberry sauce.
You know what? Since Gabby's fretting over the food situation pretty hard, and I feel like stretching my wings a bit, I'll flap around and I'll see if I could scrounge us up something.
Alrighty. Sounds like a plan.
Okay. So
So-
Siska flaps off into the air
building up those social links.
Morning worms.
Gets a good view of the expansive farmland stretching out on either side of them across the long, turbulent river. She sees vast crags in the distance of earth that's been split long ago and now creates jutting cliff faces in the distance. She flies along, then rolls a survival check. Well, wisdom survival. If you don't have survival, then you roll wisdom.
She better roll a
Let's
survival check.
see. Survival. Oh, I have +3 survival. Yay!
Neat.
Yay!
So that's 16 wisdom, and then I add the +3, or
No,
No, you
it'll
just
already
roll.
be added on
No,
your sheet.
no, you
Okay.
roll a d20 and add 3 to that.
gotcha. Okay. Roll 1d20
Plus 3.
+3.
12.
Ah, that's not very good.
It's average.
I'll let that
So
one
she-
stand.
Okay, roll.
She flies along, and as she goes, she notices in across the field some stray trees that the farmers had worked around. And she can see from the trees, as she flies closer, apples hanging from the branches.
Ah, pay dirt!
What do you see with your harpy eyes?
Hungry
Well,
for apples.
actually,
Oh no.
harpy eyes don't have any specific bonuses compared to regular, so I see as well as you do. Actually, worse because I have glasses.
Oh my god.
So she flutters over. She gathers up a bushel of apples in her bag.
Yeah.
And attempts to carry them.
Yeah.
Yeah, in my bag. I got a saddlebag.
Mhm.
Not a saddlebag, a messenger bag. But I keep calling it a saddlebag.
So she gathers up some apples.
They're sweet apples, dude.
Yeah!
Totally.
Yeah.
Dragonomic!
Reaganomics! So she gathers up the apples and brings them back to
Fruitacular.
Gabby.
How are we not all dead yet?
Oh, that's gonna be my next
I'm
character.
very lucky.
That's...
All right. So Gabby receives his apples.
Oh
Camp
my
is broken
goodness, you
down.
shouldn't have. Thank you. Thank you very much.
I shouldn't have? Okay, well, next time.
No, it's
I'm sorry.
It's a saying.
It's a
It's a
turn
saying.
of phrase, Siska.
Oh, okay.
Don't worry about it so
Same.
much. You get a little stressed. You know, I know a number of things that are rather relaxing. Have you ever had a massage?
No.
Wink, wink.
I can show you one day.
Nervous chirping.
We should spar sometime, maybe.
I'm really not much of a fighter.
I can help you learn some.
Well, I guess, as long as it doesn't hurt or anything.
Exactly. I'll take it easy on you. Don't worry.
Okay.
Grapple pinned to ground.
I make some,
Break her neck.
I make some apple fritters.
Oh, that sounds good.
I'll eat my rations.
Yeah.
Dory, you better be writing like a Google Doc.
I am.
Because it's gonna be hard to keep up with this name real soon.
Don't worry, I'm putting it on my document already.
Oh my god. Now the food won't rot that fast.
It's
Maybe.
fine.
We just gotta, we'll use it as we get it.
Exactly.
Won't be any issue.
Yeah.
Also, I hope that wasn't somebody's, like, apple tree that you stole from.
It's fun. When Dirk said actually, I got super scared that it was gonna come to life and be like Wispy Woods, the tree trend.
Oh my god.
Did you turn around to look as you flew away?
Oh, jeez.
Oh,
He'd be
no.
super upset that you took his apples.
Dude, Wispy hates it when you eat his apples.
She's gonna be watching behind her to make sure a tree's not sneaking up on her.
Dude, there's nothing Wispy hates more than when you eat his apples.
Exactly.
That's why he throws them at you.
Until you stop eating them.
If you want apples, you'll get your apples.
You have to eat all the eggs.
You have to eat all the apples. Oh my gosh. And that's a lot of apples.
That's a lot of apples.
He drops
Oh my
like 800 apples in every fight.
Oh, jeez.
I hope
Sorry
you're
about
ready.
that.
I can't handle this world.
It's freaking
So
Wispy, man.
Mr. Prickle Thicklebottom doesn't want any apple fritters.
I'm having rations.
Not for the rest of us, I guess.
Alright. So the usual food
It's
fighting
certainly much
ensues in
appreciated
the
here,
morning.
Gabby. More, please. Seconds.
11sies.
Lenses. With pleasure, with pleasure. You can have apple sasher. Because I made enough for 5 just in case, you know.
I'll certainly take the. Minerva has no issue taking the extra helping.
Oh, man, now I want apple fritters.
Dang it,
You
now
gotta-
I want apple fritters. Ah.
I don't.
Look at this. Look at this
No,
man.
he just wants hardtack.
Mr. Prickle Pickle Bitter Bean Bottom.
This is gonna get so. Like...
This is how the party's gonna die, not from a minotaur, from a dispute over food.
No,
You know what?
we're
I
gonna
believe
die
that.
My own
because
food. I don't
uh,
see why he gets upset with me not eating his.
Doru's going to be the one to introduce Alpha's characters to
Yes!
the next people that we find, and it's going to take half an hour for him to get through that last name.
Alright, so camp is broken, food is eaten, and the party is ready to ride once more.
Yep.
Transform and roll out.
So you ride along the road, gentle path,
Mr. Pricklebottom better need the name of this
as you
episode.
continue down along the river. The sun is high in the sky. Does everyone want to roll a perception check?
Oh no! I heard
Ooh.
about this. That's the
You
bad
heard about
thing.
this.
The bad
Think of, like, it's that tree. It found us.
It's the tree.
It's the
It was
owl
an
bear.
end- It was an end all along. Let's see, perception. Oh, I have a 0 in perception.
Oh, I have a. Oh, jeez. Let's see. It's plus
Ex-
5 because I have
exclamation
plus
point.
5 perception, but I have a natural 20 from passive perception.
Hey, 18.
Nice.
Oh, and DC does better.
Roll 1d20 plus, what was it, 5? 5, okay.
What's your
1d20.
perception modifier? DC. Oh, so
Okay, so I'm at 25 since I have a natural 20 passive perception. Right?
No, that's passive
Yep.
perception.
Your passive perception would be it's a base 10 plus your modifier. I know you have the feat that adds 5 to it, so your base should be 20.
Yeah.
So if you roll anything less than a 20, it defaults to 20. If
Yeah.
you roll more than 20, then it goes to that. You rolled a 17, so it defaults to 20.
Yeah. But do I still get the plus 5?
No,
the plus 5 is already applied.
Okay,
It's
Yeah.
already added in.
gotcha.
Yeah, because it's 10 plus 5 from your modifiers, which is 15, and then plus 5 from your feet.
Okie doke.
All right.
Wow, so we all rolled super high.
I got a 10.
Eesh.
Alright, Doru, DC, and I rolled super high.
Okay, so
It's because he didn't eat the
Ciscus.
fritters.
It's the owl bears.
Better not.
They hate apple fritters.
Oh, man.
Oh, jeez.
Ciscus
Guys, I'm
fly.
super scared right now.
We should.
As they ride, Ciscus sees up on a hill ahead of them, away, a lone rider sitting on a horse, a large
Oh.
Roman stallion.
Oh.
The figure seems to gleam in the sunlight, encased in metal.
Oh.
The horse and horse armor?
The horse has some armor to it, yes, but the
Ooh.
rider is encased head
You
to toe
cannot pass.
Okay.
in gleaming steel. Siska, what do you do with this information?
Well, I just go, hey, look at that guy. Shiny.
Okay, so she alerts the rest of the party.
Say
The
not.
rider on the hill,
in
gleaming armor. A lance held firmly in their stirrup with a pennon on the end of the lance snapping in the wind.
How far away is they approximately?
Probably about a half league or so.
All right, so we certainly wouldn't be able to recognize any heraldry on the pennant yet.
No.
All right, take caution, but let's keep riding. He doesn't seem to be making any move towards us, certainly.
I wonder how much that armor costs.
Armor that bright, quite a penny.
Or he just brightens it with prestidigitation.
Or he didn't buy it.
We should take it. No, I'm kidding.
I would be impressed with you trying to get it off him.
Shut up, Dirt.
Okay.
I can think of a couple ways you can try to get him out of the armor, certainly.
As you continue to ride forward, the knight continues to stand on the hill.
Menacing,
horse?
menacing.
Oh, jeez. We walk up the hill and suddenly we're back down the hill again.
When you're up, and when you're down, you're down.
Oh my gosh. Dirt!
What?
Jojo,
What?
I can't even speak. Jojo D&D win.
Sooner than you think.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Hurry.
DC's like, what? We see Dio? What?
There's a guy with shiny armor on a hill
He's standing there,
with a
menacing.
lance.
Menacingly.
Good night, Grandpa. I'll see you in the morning.
Oh, for a second I thought his grandpa said menacingly.
That's fine. I thought he said goodnight, sugar.
That's what he said.
Just bypass his
I'll
door.
keep it down.
Why?
If I don't see you before you go,
Mhm.
you be careful, sugar.
I will do.
Just remember everything.
All right, I will, Grandpa.
I'll be careful too.
Gun butt day, Sugartron. Gun butt out.
I love my Grandpa. So anyway, massing man on a spear on the hill.
Does he like you though? Because he just bypassed you completely just to whisper into your mic, "Hey, Sugar, I love. Be careful out there. I love you."
Guys, I'm super scared right now.
So,
Can we tell from this?
walking towards guy on hill still.
Yeah, is he facing away from us or towards us? Can we tell?
Dirge?
Both.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh, jeez.
I was just writing something down and I couldn't hold down X and type at the same time.
Oh, jeez.
It's all good.
Okay, as you get closer to the bottom of this low hill, you can see that the heraldry on the pennon is a mix of green and brown. There seems to be like a bear mid-swipe on the banner.
Oh,
Menacing.
is it an elder?
No, a regular bear.
Kill you.
Like a hippopotamus bear? No, just a plain bear. I don't like bossing say anymore.
A gazebo bear?
Oh,
Oh
jeez.
god, not one of those. I wonder if gazebos are in the same species as mad
Harpies.
trees that don't like you picking their apples. Ancestors. Okay. So you reach the bottom of the hill. You can see the heraldry on the gleaming night. Their helmet is down, and so you can't really see. Like, you really can't tell how they're reacting. They're just, sitting there on their horse, looking.
They are looking towards us, though?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is his stance like kind of lax, or is it like prepared for battle? Like, is he just chilling, or is he waiting for something?
Well, they're not actively armed. Obviously, they're holding their lance in hand, but the handle of it's sitting in the stirrups with their feet as the pennon snaps in the wind.
That's the ribbon around the tip of the spear.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. I guess we'll continue our approach.
Now that you are roughly within earshot, the knight adjusts in their saddle as they tug on their reins a bit, so the horse turns so that they can more easily face you without looking over the horse's head, because it's a relatively large horse. It's got armor platings hanging on its colorful padded armor, which is also green and brown, much like the heraldry on the pennon. And it's a big black roan horse, much bigger than any of yours.
Mhm.
What doth thou find, you, in the lands of mine? Sorry, the word I was, mine lord. Sorry, the word just sort of fell out of my ear.
He starts coughing mid-sentence.
Yeah, sorry.
Are you ill, my lord?
So they asked why you are in the lands of their lord.
I will say, good morning, sir. We are simply traveling on our way. I'll give him the town name that we're headed towards. We are with the Idyllic Knights.
The knight sort of looks at you for a moment. Well, it's looking at Minerva, you assume, because their head's tilted in that direction.
Yeah.
And then they sort of spur their horse forward and ride down the hill at a canter. It's not a charge. You're not gonna get right down. But they ride down to get a closer look at you, and you can see a sword strapped to the knight's side, and a shield hangs from the saddle of the horse. As they ride down, and they come up some 30 feet or so away from you.
Any interesting designs on the shield or anything like that?
Same bear.
It's got the same green and brown bear painted on it.
Same
Um,
bear
the
time, same
shield-
bear channel.
The shield
Go.
shows some use. And the armor, well tended. You can see has seen use before. Little dents and a couple scrapes that obviously weren't able to be buffed out.
Mhm.
And as the knight looks, they flip up the visor of their helmet so they can get a better look at the tabard on your clothing. Because, of course, you travel, you wear the symbol of the Edelic Knights on your
Of
tabard
course.
over
Yep.
your clothes.
I have it written down.
Yep. And flip up the helmet, look. Doth thou truly work for the Edelic Knights? She says with a glimmer of honest excitement in her eyes as she wonders.
Aye, sir. Is there something that you need of us?
Nay, I just wondered why you came traveling here through the lands of mine lord. She gestures a hand off to the south. His castle is right over there.
Ah,
What?
I see.
Might thou and
How
thy
did we miss
friends-
that?
Well, it's a distance, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's a fair distance.
Yeah, and we were at the bottom
And
of the hill.
you're sort of moving in a easterny route along the road, not so much south.
We can't see through the hill.
Maybe you can't.
Neither can you.
I can still be smug about it.
Like I had said before, we're simply on mission. We had no idea that our path would be taking us through this land of your lords, ma'am.
Surely thou would wish to come pay visit to the Lord then?
Certainly, if you would have us.
Of course. Mine lord would never give up a chance to pay host to travelers on a mission, especially those that work for the Edelic Knights.
We would be absolutely honored. Although we cannot spend very long, we have business that we must attend to.
Of course, an important quest.
Aye,
How grand! Wouldst thou follow me to my lord's keep then?
lead the way.
Okay, she nudges her heels to her horse's flank, and he turns and starts away back up the hill. She turns back once to ensure that you're following, and then leads the way through the hilly lands towards a grand castle, squat. In the distance, it's probably an hour's ride from here, just across the gentle lands. You can see more farmland stretching off into the distance, but the castle itself is stout and looks like it has thick walls, and it's nestled up against sort of it looks like it's almost ready to fall off into a low ravine. But it looks solidly built, so it's probably not gonna fall off the ledge.
Probably.
It looks like it could.
Maybe not while we're here.
Hopefully not while we're here.
I'm sure it'll be fine.
Anything? Or you're just gonna ride in silence till you reach the keep.
I'll compliment her both on her lord's castle and on her armor. Who crafted it, if I might ask?
'Twas a gift from my lord for me. It was crafted by some of the dwarven smiths in the capital. For thy smiths there makes such of the finest garments that one could ever hope to find.
Aye, high quality, their work.
I mean, I got nothing to add. I'm back here scratching Jeffrey behind the ears.
Oh, whoops. What's your name?
Ziska falls off the horse and off the edge.
It's
Oh,
Annabelle, she tells you.
Ooh.
I'm the Margravine of this castle. My Lord Bolton will be happy to have you to dine with us tonight.
Oh, this sounds lovely.
I whisper back. I lean back over to Gabby. What's a magazine?
I'm sure. I believe it's a type of drink.
That's weird. This girl's weird.
Alright, I'll
can
say, well
inform
met,
you
Annabelle.
too- Maybe can inform you both that Margravine is a type of baroness.
Okay. um.
Annabelle
I-
nods. Well met indeed. Mightst thou tell me thy name and the name of thy companions?
Oh boy.
I myself am Minerva. I work directly for the Idyllic Knights. I'm one of the Order. The rest of my companions,
Contract
they are
workers.
working as
They're
adjunct.
of no small importance. My servants, you know.
They're working alongside us as adjuncts.
So I hear there's not a Mr. Margravine, eh?
Mr. Marguerite.
As for their introductions, I will leave them to themselves.
I ride up a little closer.
And it's a
Oh
pleasure to
god,
make your
DC's dying, guys.
Oh,
It's fine.
oh no.
It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance. I am Gabby Cook. My associate here, Mr. Pickle Thickle Bean Bottom, is
Oh god. Pickle Bing Bottom.
Pickle Bean Bottom.
Ah, jeez. We're talking to the knight. She's leading us to his castle, to her castle, her
Yeah.
her lord's castle.
Yeah.
I'm introducing myself in Alpha.
Totally a trap. It's totally a trap.
It's totally a trap and we're gonna go into it and we're all gonna die.
Yeah.
I won't, because I'm lucky.
Now you'll die with us. It's an ambush!
That was perfectly timed, or
Brilliant.
Mary wakes up from snoozing in her saddle. Is she going to introduce herself?
Had a camera said mate read.
Pleasure.
I'm Siska. Pleasure to meet you.
I must say, we do not see many of thy folk around here.
Well, we're kind of all over the place, so it's not very. I get that a lot.
I'm sure.
Despite what the gnome says, my name is Farron Thornbottle.
It is?
And a pleasure to meet you as well. Come along. I'm sure my lord will be pleased to meet you as much as I have. Did you get closer to the castle?
If I might, milady, what were
Yes.
you doing? What exactly had you patrolling out so far?
It is my sworn duty to my lord to ensure that his grounds are kept safe, which means that I find myself in all times of day and night riding the countryside to prevent naysayers and evildoers from bringing grief upon my lord's land.
I mean, it's kind of a lot of land, though. What would have happened if we came up from the south instead of the east?
You doubt my skills?
No.
Nervous chirping.
Sure, nervous chirp, chirp, chirp.
I have
didn't
no
say
doubt that
anything.
you proved yourself in many battles.
So you reach the castle now. A stout heavy building with long turrets rising up in the four corners of the keep. It's a sturdy, defensible location, and she sort of gestures a hand to it. Castle Crestwood, the keep of my Lord Bolton, a formidable home. It keeps us safe and ensures the safety of his people.
I would imagine so. It's beautiful.
Aye, that it is. That it is.
She rides up to the gates and gives a hollow message to the guards manning it as the heavy doors swing open.
Yo, God, open up.
And you all ride into the courtyard.
Now with our lowrider horses and hydraulics.
we start
I mean,
ghosting
technically that's with me and Mr. Thicklebottom riding.
Oh man, guys, we need to pick up a ghost writing skill. Like one of us needs to get like throw voice and like a singing talent, and then
we need a bard. That's what we need.
Siska, take a dip in bard.
Okay.
It'll be perfect. You can do bird song.
Could you imagine how awkward
Vicious
her
chirping?
No,
Could you imagine how awkward her vicious mockery would be? Though you're
No, you would just hear chirp,
stupid.
chirp, 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 chirp,
You're a
chirp,
meanie.
chirp, chirp, chirp.
She'd insult you in bird speak.
Don't be a bully.
Exactly.
No bully.
This is a strictly no bully zone.
And then they die.
Are you hidden in that box, Doru?
Yeah.
No, Siska is.
Siska?
Just a plain box chirp chirp.
He doesn't have a beak.
It's implied.
Ah.
Siska doesn't have a beak either. Wait, hold on. Let's rewind. She has a big nose, but that's offensive to say that. Come on. Be nice.
No.
So as you enter the
I want to
courtyard,
make so many jokes.
you begin to dismount. Annabelle swings down from her mount as one of the stable hands comes to lead her horse away. And she removes her helmet and tucks it underneath her arm.
I will dismount in turn, and I will help down whoever else needs it, i.e. Siska.
Yeah.
You know, technically, I think ponies count as lowriders. Am I wrong?
We gotta do it. We got just once. I want to just walk up to a castle, like ghosting with our horses, and just have like riders on the storm playing in the background, Snoop Doggy Dogg. Like, come on.
I really want this tune out.
Later.
We're all wearing sunglasses.
Later.
Draw it. Make it a GIF.
Ah!
Are you kidding? It took me a week to draw one walking animation, and it almost killed my soul.
Good. Practice makes perfect. Anyways, as you all dismount and you mount it right away, one of the large front doors open of the across the courtyard, and down from the steps comes a middle-aged man with graying brown hair and a short, well-groomed goatee and fine clothes, nothing too fancy, but still bearing the colors and heraldry of his keep, the green and brown with the bear on it. And he has a sword strapped to his side, though the silver hilt and the gold filigree on it seems to denote that the sword's more for show than actual use. He lifts his arms up in sort of a spreading welcoming. Hello, friends. Annabelle, you've brought visitors to my keep. She turns and she bows to the Lord. She says, "Yes, I, Lord Bolton. I found these travelers across thy lands and thought to invite them in for hospitality. They are on a quest, as they tell me. This one here works directly for the Edelic Knights." Lord Bolton looks with a slightly amused grin on his face as he looks at the assortment of strangers standing in his courtyard and sees the symbol of the Edelic Knights upon Minerva's tavern. And he nods. "Ah, yes. Very nice to have you all here. Welcome to Castle Crestwood, my humble abode." And he bows to you.
I take off my hat and I bow as well. It's a pleasure to be here, my lord.
I see everyone else bow, and I bow like 5 seconds after everyone else is already out.
And then she's like nervous if it was right, so she bows again, and after like 5 times, she looks like one of those drinking birds.
Oh my god! You can stop now. You're good. I thank you for having us, my lord. We won't take up much of your hospitality, I assure you. We're honored to be here.
Oh, it's always nice to have guests here. It's such a pleasure. Come inside, rest from your travels, relax. I shall have a dinner made. It will be grand. Come
I
along.
don't like how you're
Our
enunciating
guest,
some
your
of these
guest.
words.
Well, I'm gonna have to
You
see
should
my.
never
I'm gonna have
trust the
to.
DM.
I'm gonna have to find somebody to lead me to the kitchen.
So that way he can give it a proper inspection and make sure that it's up to his standard.
Exactly. See, you get it, Mr. Pricklebottom.
That was out of character, sir.
How much?
Yeah, but I didn't use the full name.
How much free reign do we have? Like, do we have to follow them, or can we kind of split off and do our own thing?
Well, it'd probably be, polite to follow him along.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Just wander his castle after just meeting him.
So you head inside. If anyone has any cloaks or coats, they can hand them to a servant to hang up on a rack.
I asked the servant to lead me into the kitchen because I am a chef. I show him my letter of introduction from the guild.
That's the rudest thing you could ever do.
They just sort of look at you like, okay. They're sort of confused.
I have the best.
but-
I have the best intention. I assure you.
By saying that, you make it worse.
Look,
I really want.
Panic!
I really just want our sorcerer to, use prestidigitation to light that letter on fire.
no.
You can't
Totally
get that
could.
back.
Lord Bolton waves a hand. If he wants to see the kitchen, let him be. It's down that way. If you follow the halls, I'm sure someone will point you there on the way. Please
And
make
we
your
have now split the party.
Yep.
Congratulations, we're all dead.
I appreciate your
Don't
hospitality,
do
my
this
lord.
all.
We
Standing in
went
the
into
nice
the castle, then we died.
open entranceway into the foyer. Haha, denied. There's a dark wood staircase that leads up in the foyer. Rich dark green carpets along the floors. It's obviously a castle, but it's got some homey touches. It's nothing like a fancy wooden mansion.
It's not like
In
the
the
other
city?
castle we were in.
Well, no, the other castle was much more opulent.
Yeah.
But it's utilitarian, but it's made homey and noble.
It's made with defense in mind as the foremost, but it's also made to be comfortable.
Yeah,
It
it
counts.
protect, it attack, and it come.
Super
Okay.
comf.
So besides Gabby,
I,
who
re- I
has
really
a-
want to split off.
neurotic need to check the kitchen,
I
Lord
don't.
Bolton leads the rest of you to his lounge, a nice big area. It's late summer, in Mimura right now.
Okay.
But because of the thick walls of the keep and the fact that they're made out of stone, they hold the cold really well. So there's a small fire burning in the fireplace, adds a bit of warmth to the room, and that's why the excessive use of carpets along the ground.
Yeah.
They pretty much cover every square inch, just to help keep the chill out. And there's plenty of nice wide couches. This is obviously where he entertains guests, and there's plenty of pillows on the couches for your comfort. And there's
And Siska takes all the pillows, throws them on the ground, and makes a nest out of them.
dun, 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 dun.
That's our Siska.
Please sit down. You'd like a drink? One of my servants can get you something. What would you like?
I will never say no to a fine meat, Lord. It's deeply appreciated.
Internally, I really want to check out the barracks, or not the barracks, the towers, because you said that they were like tall towers.
Yeah,
The
I mean
keeps.
they're stout
Yeah.
towers, but they're still a couple stories up.
It's fine. She can fly.
Oh yeah,
Exactly.
like it's
I like high places.
or she can climb stairs. It's fine, but
No, I
She's
have
gonna
to
fly up
there.
the stairs.
That's so awkward.
Just flying in circles up.
Like, I probably have like a 7-foot wingspan. Like how?
Don't worry about it.
How long are her arms?
so who's gonna get comfy and who's
Dude,
going
Dover,
to?
wings are big.
Yeah, but
Think about a
How-
bird. Think about how
but
big
it's a harpy. You fly by flapping your arms.
Yeah,
The
no.
wings don't end at her fingertips.
Yeah, dude, look at my picture. It's like Rito.
Oh, right. Okay. Never mind.
As you were saying, Dirge.
Who's gonna get comfy?
Yeah.
I will absolutely get comfy.
Let's see. I'll hold off exploring the barracks for now. I just follow Minerva's lead as usual, because she seems to know what she's doing.
Because Siska's such a beta bitch.
I'll take Cisco. She can sit on the same couch as me. I'll take her right under my arm.
You mean right under your wing?
Oh, you did that on purpose, you scumbag.
I know I gotta get up in the morning. I didn't forget.
If Annabelle is still with us, I will
Yep.
make
She's still standing there.
chatting with her and also Lord Bolton. Nothing too like forthright or anything. More like how things have been in the area, that sort of thing.
Things seem to go fine. The fields are growing fine. We've had just enough rain to keep things growing, but not too much that the workers can't be in the fields. Trade with the city is going fine. The weather has been clear.
Oh god, this is terrible.
Meanwhile, in the kitchen.
Dory, you can't.
I'm not.
Just cut me off. It's not your turn yet. But if there's any girls there, I want to do them.
No, thrills. Get it right.
if there's any girls there, I want to cook on them.
Oh my god.
No, but enough of talking the day away. You're on a quest. Please tell me more.
It's a relatively routine job in truth. We've heard some whisperings of some actions of a cult out in the east in one of the relatively nearby villages.
They look
It was-
aghast, of course. Cult activity in the lands. It's horrible.
I absolutely agree. They're religious fanatics. You know the sort. Demon worshippers.
Annabelle like sort of like stands tall, you know, a hand laying upon the hilt of her sword. Have me at them, and I will flush all of them from these lands, my lord. And he just sort of like sighs. No, Annabelle, it's fine. Why don't you go get out of that armor? It tends to make you a little boisterous. I'm fine, my lord. No, I insist.
I rather think it suits
Go.
her. It's brilliant piece.
It suits her. Hey! I say that in
But it's
character.
probably best if she gets comfortable. Otherwise, she'll be halfway across the lands trying to find these demon worshippers of yours. I go. As you wish, my lord. She bows and leaves. Fine girl she is, he says after she's left the room. But she's a little headstrong. I don't think she understands what challenge means. But she's the funnest knight I've ever seen, so that's why I keep her around.
Overeager to prove herself.
I don't even think she's trying to prove it, because I think she knows that she would win. It's a very concerning trait, but you get that from time to time with the knights in the land. I'm sure you have a few like that in your order. The Edelic Knights are known to be quite, I don't want to be rude, but nosy. They're everywhere in the lands, and it seems like they do as they please. No offense, of course. They keep
I
the
insist.
realm
Speak
safe.
your mind.
They keep the realm safe, so it's not like I'm going to complain if you come through to deal with these cultists. It's just when I was younger, I would have been right with them, riding in the across the fields into battle, but I just don't have the heart for it anymore. It's clashing of steel just sets my nerves on edge.
I cannot fault you there. Not everyone is exceptionally made. Not that I'm saying you're not. I'm sure that you could very easily be a great warrior.
Yeah, don't worry, I'm a huge coward too.
Your friend is an interesting sort, isn't she?
A little candid.
Plain spoken. I understand that's prevalent in the peasant folks, so I try not to keep a grudge.
Oh, that's subtle shade.
The pheasant folks.
Doro, stop it!
Off in the kitchen, Gabby is meticulously looking on tippy toes around the kitchen.
I've already dedicated my service to the chef of the kitchen.
The chef seems a little confused at why this gnome has come into his kitchen to nose around, but if he's not gonna hurt anything, then I guess it's fine.
If anything, he's here to help.
It's all good, DC.
After a few minutes more, Annabelle returns. She still has her sword strapped to her side, but she's in a penny coat.
Gabby would never steal a kitchen away from a fellow chef.
But you can hear the chainmail clinking underneath her petticoat, and based on the bulk still of her form, Minerva still wagers a guess that she has a layer of gambeson underneath the chainmail. So even without her plate armor, it still seems like she is ready for battle.
I'll shoot her a grin and wink.
She smiles.
Girl, you thicker than a bowl of oatmeal.
Pray thee repeat thyself.
She does. No. That's not canon.
Thou wouldst compare me to morning gruel? He like raises an eyebrow in confusion. Golden waves his hand off. She means nothing of it, girl. Her mind seems to flitter in the wind.
She's very good at that.
Come sit, relax. You've been riding all morning and into the afternoon, and you really need to learn to sit down once in a while. But my lord, I sit all the time upon my mighty steed. Yes, but I mean on a cushion. And he waves her to sit. And she takes a seat.
I don't think that a cushion would fit on a horse, my lord.
You're not in the room, Dor. You missed your chance to be funny.
Me not that kind of knight.
Oh my god.
So does anyone else want to slip out now before they make any more social profas?
I'm just
Cisco.
probably sitting on a pillow because the couch and whatever else is too tall for me to sit on.
Let's see. How could I get out of this room?
Fly
Fly
up to
out
the
the window.
ceiling.
Just dive head first.
I have to pee, and then she just
Flies out the
awkwardly
window.
walks out of the room.
She
She
jumps
flies
through
right
the
out the
window.
window.
Oh my god, Cisco really does have autism.
The worst part is they're in the like center of the keep, so she'd jump into a painting and hit her head. Not the brightest sword, is she?
Oh man,
Guys, I think our bird has autism.
Oh, no,
She's a
I think her
bird.
autism came down with a Southern case of bird. Okay, so is Siska going to excuse herself from the room, or is she just going to keep sitting there awkwardly?
Let's
Go
see.
find a library.
It is. It
Damn,
might
what
have
a
a library.
savage.
Okay, yeah, okay. So all this talk of like farming and stuff is kind of blah. I'm not really interested in any of it. So I kind of perk up.
Open
Like,
every book right there and just start reading.
oh, that's That's the equivalent of pulling out your phone while talking to the
And
president.
she doesn't know any social context.
Let's see. So while the conversation hits a quick lull, I just kind of ask so you have a lot of knights stationed around here. Are you guys attacked frequently by anything?
Hardly at all. I mean, we keep our lands well patrolled, so we generally don't have any scuffles. Occasionally, you get into disputes with your neighbors, but it's nothing a few good charges with a lance can't fix.
Of course. Siska here is our resident expert on monster.
Yeah, I was just about to ask if there's any interesting fauna in the area or anything you're having trouble dealing with.
Annabelle sort of like straightens in her seat. She's like, "We find no such beasts around here. For my blade is as sharp as the morning sun, cuts down all that gets in my way. No beast would dare come in a 10-mile radius of this keep."
Siska it's like very like visually loses interest in the whole situation. He's like, ah,
And whips out her
Pulls out a book, starts reading.
No, that's too. Oh man, that's
It's
so
rude for you, but is it rude for her?
No, it's not. Dang it. She's like, all right, I guess.
Sorry to disappoint you, lass.
Oh, that's fine. I'll just catch up on my reading.
He doesn't say it, but I'm sure one of you picks up on the fact that he probably at least thought that she can read going through his mind. But he doesn't say anything. Maybe an amused eyebrow raise.
My halfling at this point in time is like going to just facepalm where he's sitting.
Yeah.
just lower his head into his palms.
Cormor, why have you besought me with the luck to stick me with these people?
I thought that I was lucky, Cormor.
You can choose your friends, but you can't choose your family.
If I might, my lord, so I take it that you have had no issues of late, no whisperings or rumors of note?
Nothing offhand. We get news every so often from the various villages under our dominion. You know, the cows are doing well, or two neighbors have started, scuffling about the position of a fence. General misgivings, but nothing out of the ordinary as it was.
Of course. Just want to be sure to make sure that if there's anything that we could do, that we would be able to.
I am honored to have such noble warriors such as an Edelic Knight offer their services here. Thankfully, with the Margravine here, her services usually keep things running in order. But I am pleased at your offerings of assistance.
I have no doubt that she's more than capable all on her own.
The conversation continues for a while of back to general things. After a while, a servant comes and informs you that dinner is to be served. So the group of you head down a hallway and into the dining area. A long, dark wooden table, chairs around it. Tables are set, and everyone takes their seat.
Is this a table built for larger people?
For regular humans.
Yeah.
We'll bring your cushion.
Yeah, my head is probably level with the actual table itself.
You'll sit at the kitty table.
Oh my god.
With Siska.
With Siska, yeah.
Nope. Ain't having none of that.
We'll bring a cushion.
Okay.
Everyone takes their seats, and then the servants start to bring in the meal.
Along
Gabby
with
gets
Gabby.
shooed out of the kitchen and forced to take a seat. Despite his objections to wanting to help, he's not allowed.
Oh.
You are still considered a guest.
And this is where the sorcerer should change the flavor of Gabby's food. That way he makes rude remarks to
The sorcerer has
keep.
fallen asleep again.
The sorcerer is kill.
The sorcerer will find about this when they review
Nope, the
the
sorcerer is awake.
The sorcerer is not kill. The sorcerer is a saucier.
Please don't.
He's
tease me. I
he's a
critique
saucer?
food aloud. I critique food aloud as I eat.
But yeah, you should totally just change the flavor on one of his things. In the you would insult the kitchen just like
But
our...
everyone would see her waving her arms and saying her mumbo jumbo.
It would be pretty
would they,
obvious.
Would they though?
Yes, she doesn't have
At
subtle
least-
casting.
At least one person would see her, I'm sure.
Wait until she gets her meta magic.
Yeah.
Then she can kill. She protect, she attack, and she fuck with the Gabby.
I think that's going to be everyone's job.
Yeah,
Make
until
my
everyone
pack-
starves to death.
Make my packed weapon one of like his cooking utensils.
Oh my god.
It disappears whenever I whim it.
Dare. You would not dare.
You think I wouldn't?
Mm.
My slurs be praised.
But yeah, I will pass the time giving his lordship any news from the city, that sort of thing. other interesting rumors, etc. What'd you upload, DC? I'm gonna kill you.
So you sit around talking of the news in the city and the general going-ons, and you don't go into any specifics about your personal mission, but
Yeah.
you have a nice chat as you finish your meal, a fine banquet, and you then, well, anyone that would like to can retire to the sitting area, the lounge, to continue having discussions and to relax after the meal.
It's boring. Old
Have a
man.
drink. He bids that you all, because the evening has approached, to spend the night here. He'll have rooms prepared.
Oh,
I will be absolutely honored, my lord.
I would.
I'd love to have my own room again.
I can't imagine declining, my lord.
You'll be sleeping in the same room as the small one. We didn't have a bed quite small enough for them.
You certainly go above and beyond.
Because if you don't have a head on a pillow and feet sticking out the bottom of the blankets, the monsters will know that they can get you.
Oh!
It's a safety measure.
Wait. Does that mean Alpha and Doru always share a bed?
No.
Could you imagine how amazing that would be, though, if the
No, we
gnome
just
and the
use
half
really short
sleeping in a
blankets.
bed?
What?
One of them sleeps at the front of the bed, and Alpha, because he's a trickster, sleeps at the end with his feet sticking out, so they look like a normal person. But like assassins sneak in at night, and they stab them in their sleep, but they stab in between the two of them and think it's them, and then runs off. And in the morning, all they find is that the jam that Gabby snuck to bed has been like broken and smeared all over the blankets. And there's an ominous dagger between them, and they don't know why.
Well, that was lucky.
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
Not for the jam!
Not for the mayonnaise and this mysterious hole in the bed.
Only one man would stab my jam. Lone Star! So the servants, anyone that wants to go to bed, or at least be led to the rooms now, instead of going to the lounge, can be led now by a servant. Everyone gets their own quarters. They're modest little guest rooms, but they're freshly laundered sheets, and they're
And the
quite
bed
nice.
is huge.
Can I ask if I could make use of the training yard for a bit? Get some
If you would like.
practice.
Yep. Annabelle herself will lead you out there.
I believe I might retire early, chaps, if you don't
She's
mind.
obviously eager to see what how an Edelic Knight might train compared to her own private tutelage. Since the Edelic Knights are the only formally trained knights in the land, besides the royal guards, but they're more of like a general training, where the Edelic Knights are known for their, small squad training.
Yeah.
Most other knights in the land, like Annabelle, are under like relatively private tutelage from elderly knights. So the training's more narrow focused, but the Edelic Knights are known as the best fighting force in the land, so obviously her interest is piqued.
Mistwalker.
I'll happily offer to.
She's not.
Aww.
The Mistwalkers mainly
As far as you
operate
know.
out of Honoris,
I
which is to
thought-
the south.
When she first showed up, I thought she might be Liliana because you were referring to her as gender neutral pronouns while she was still in the armor, and she was wearing green and brown, which I believe are Liliana's colors. So I was like, yeah.
Oh yeah, yes they are. I didn't even consider that. No, the Mistwalkers, the Edelic Knights have the function out of Mimura. The Ambrel Knights function in Guldir. The Syrinxian Knights are in Demapra. The Mistwalkers are in Honoris.
It's Liliana's sister.
Fucking Syrinxian Knights.
Yeah. They're part of an order of
Yeah.
from the temple. Hey, that's what happens when you have a player character who names his castle Xanadu. Okay?
Xanadu.
And you went to this monastery and influenced their clergy, and now, they're the Syrinxian Knights. It's his fault, not mine.
Best.
Anyway,
That's actually even better. Yeah, I'll offer Annabelle. I'll give her the offer at the least. See if she'd be interested in sparring for a bit. Maybe she could teach me a thing or two, and I could teach her something.
Of course, she's always keen to test her blade against someone else, so the two of you will go down to the training yard. Torches are lighting it enough so that even though it is dark, you can still relatively see.
I'm just
Neither
going
of
to
you should
follow
name
and
each
watch.
Not on purpose.
As luck would have it, they don't kill each other, which is good.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Sugar doesn't fucking die.
Actually,
let's just
that
give you
one
the-
attack was lethal damage, not non-lethal.
I'm pretty much gonna have to just every time it involves alpha characters, it's just as luck would have it.
That's what I do.
Never. Was Gabby going to bed?
Yes. Who just... What?
Wait, what?
What the
Whoever.
It's not lewd, Doru.
Doru.
Doru!
They're not
no.
touching tips. That's not
No,
how
but
you
their
fight
blades are
swords.
crossing.
That's not how you fight with swords.
That's a different kind of sword.
Knights are pure, Dora. You can't do that.
I mean, someone else is gonna have to stop it.
Oh, jeez. I'm gonna leave it going since it's a nice song.
It is.
Okay.
Although it kind of
This
changes
is
the
our
mood
sleepy.
of the whole.
This is our sleepy time music.
See, it's fine though because little did Dirge know I was gonna be fapping to this later tonight anyway.
You better
probably.
not.
I knew he would because it's a red head. It's a
Oh
red
yeah,
head
that's happening.
in full plate armor. I mean,
Yeah.
it's his fetish.
That is 100% fetish.
You better not.
So we know what Onyx has to draw later.
Siska, no. Siska, just
We're gonna
excuses
work up a
herself
nice
because...
sweat together.
No.
No, not you and me.
Still no. Siska...
Girls can't love girls.
Exactly.
Dirge,
Siska...
I have an important setting question. Can girls love girls in this setting?
Yes.
It is not illegal. Siska is gonna become the fascist ruler who will make it illegal.
Oh my god.
I mean, it's D&D. Anything's possible.
Also, Doru, I really like that reaction image.
Except I doubt that she could get anywhere in politics considering the fact that her first response to any speech would be chitter chitter and then fly away.
I also stole a DC. Congratulations, Doru. You got yourself played.
Let's see. Since fighting is scary and Siska isn't tired yet, she's just gonna go for a quick fly around the castle perimeter. Or castle area, I guess. Gotta scope out what's around. Maybe explore the ravine a little bit.
Gabby retires early.
Okay. Siska flies out and about on the cool night air. She flies down to sort of... It's not a fairly deep ravine. The bottom is like gravel, and at one point it was probably a riverbed that dried up centuries ago. But she goes exploring along. Here's the skittering of probably
Mud crabs.
mice or some other small woodland or field critters scurrying amongst the rocks. But overall, it's pretty.
DC, stop.
It's okay. You didn't TTS it, so it's non-canon.
Exactly. That's what I was going
So, as you go about amongst your tasks, the two warriors spar for a bit, and then after the night goes on and the torches start to sputter out, they stop and
The lights grow dim.
they go to, probably bathe. They're sweaty.
Wash up.
Yeah.
I'll wash her back. She can wash mine.
And then head to bed.
Get nice and soapy.
Yeah. And I assume at this point, Alpha, once they're done sparring, that you'll probably go
I'll
back
probably
to your
just
room.
retire. Yeah.
And Siska's probably returned from her little night flight. Before the flying owlbears that throw serpents at people catch her alone, because that would be scare.
Flying,
Absolute scare.
Or the serpents that throw
flying
flying
owlbears riding projectile serpents.
She
Like
knows that there
General
aren't any
Tao.
owlbears in this area. That this
Flying
is a safe
owlbears
place.
throwing projectile serpents that only want to ask her about the weather and about the social situations that she's unfamiliar with. Absolute fear.
My
All the serpents know vicious mockery.
My serpent knows vicious mockery.
Of course it does.
Sugar, no.
Pretty much. Okay, and everyone
Exactly
goes to
like
bed.
that, West.
Except instead of a log, it's a serpent.
Dawn breaks on the horizon, and you guys start to. I'm about to DC. Dawn breaks on the horizon, as you guys, you're comfy and there's no rush to get up.
Oh no.
So you're not.
All the beds
going
are mimics.
No.
The whole castle was
Castle
a mimic.
mimic.
So
The castle
The redhead.
disappears.
The redhead was a mimic.
Oh jeez.
she was the lure.
It was the ultimate trap.
No one would ever resist.
No, we hear
Like I said, it's not a trap. It's
like
an
a
ambush.
gentle commotion throughout the keep, and you think servants are going about, breakfast is being prepped, but you can hear the chinging of chainmail up and down the hallways. And if you stick your head out, you notice that there's people in their chainmail hauberks with spears in hands. Some of them are carrying supplies and they're moving about. It's disconcerting. So you all convene in the lounge where Lord Bolton is studying a map on a table that's been brought in from the other room, and he's muttering curses to himself.
Is everything all right, my lord?
No. That damn Lord Briarwood. He lets out a few more choice curses. In the middle of the night, he force marched troops and mercenaries across miles to get here. From what I can tell, he marched a good 500 strong outside my keep right now. What is he thinking? He swears again. Annabelle comes in now, fully armored, of course, but her helmet underneath her arms. She comes in. It's as we thought, my lord. Thy mortal foe has brought his men here, and scoundrels he's found hired through gold that he had not earned purely. He rode them through the night. From what I can tell, the injuries are many, but his men are outnumber us 5-1. The Lord Bolton mutters again, more curses, and looks. How are our supplies? They will hold us for months, my lord. Well, good. Maybe by then someone will come by, give us a hand. Till then, we'll have to sit tight. Man the sentries, tell them to shoot and fill arrows of anyone that comes close. Can't believe he'd do this. Oh.
Good thing we got here yesterday. What'd you say, Dora?
What color is his heraldry? Is Briarwood's heraldry?
Well,
Yes,
you don't know.
Can
I
we
mean,
ask him? Can we ask what lands he controls?
The ones to the east of here.
Is that where we're going?
Yeah, you guys are heading east. Well, you were. Now you're sort of trapped.
Well, I mean, you guys are. I could just fly home, but.
They'll shoot you.
Well, but is there any vantage point where we can see what we're up against?
One of the towers. Just watch out for any stray arrows.
Of course.
But before we go too far into that,
Yeah.
It's 12 o'clock, so I think we'll call it here.
Yeah, I just
Okay.
wanted to know what color their heraldry was, because you never know. It could be a noble McArchlord.
Oh yeah, noble looking cunt.
Right.
Yeah.
No, the heraldry is
Red with black. Again. Because everything is red with black.
Or blue with white. Or green with brown.
Or blue
purple and
yellow.
silver.
Blue and yellow.
Okay.
Green and purple, green and purple, green and purple.
Do we
Is
know
it black
if
and blue or yellow and gold?
do we know if the town that we were headed towards is within his
Domain.
sphere of influence? That's my last question. I promise.
Every slip I roll it big. Even myself.
Did he say that they were injured there too?
I forgot to hold down the press to talk.
Yeah.
You've been
Anyway.
doing it for 3 hours.
Yeah, it just
He's
became.
tired. What do you want from him?
Look, I had to write something down, and then I just forgot to go back. Okay? Anyways, the maps aren't drawn quite the same,
Mhm.
obviously by different cartographers. But you'd probably wager a guess that it could be within the territory. If it is, it'd probably be on the fringe. But
Okay.
unfortunately, this predicament has now found you guys all trapped and surrounded by a small army.
We can
Well,
fight
that's-
our way out. That's fine.
and
No, we can't.
And that's where we'll find ourselves next time.
Yeah.
On
Is
Dragon
Under
Ball Z.
Siege.
On B. and
Oh, jeez, you're titling these now, huh?
B.
All right, what's the name of this one so I can name the
Uh,
YouTube?
Mr. Mr. Picklebottom.
Mr. Picklebottom. Enter Mr. Picklebottom. Got it.
I still don't know who you're talking to there.
Oh yeah, by the way, I'd like to point out that
As luck
I
would
think the
have
thing
it,
within the
Gabby
thing-
hates you.
No, I'm aware.
I'm the cook.
Gabby will remember that.